Welcome to Topic Talks, where we talk about the topics you care about and leave out the ones you don't.
We talk about what most news sources don't: media, movies, and the multiverse.
We even invite guests to come talk topics with us.
Come join in on the fun.
Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to the giant conversation of this Topic Talks. I'm your host, Aaron Klingingsmith, and joining me once again is my co-host, Mark.
Hello everybody.
Unfortunately, Katie is running a little behind, so she will be here later in the show. You might hear a little bit of controversy when she does get in, but she's on her way.
Yeah,
so we've got to get started without her, unfortunately, but it is the way it is. We have a lot to talk to you guys about today. We have so many topics. It took Mark and I a few extra minutes to try to get them all in line. So we got some sad news about Michael Buble. He's putting his career on hold for something that he feels is way more important, and I think I do too. And then the Cubs also, their win is very special to this gentleman. What we're going to tell you about in a few minutes, in more ways than just one. And then if we have time, we're going to talk to you about a student who got pranked with some Kit Kats. We'll fill you in on that. It's really funny.
Love it.
Mark, what do you got for your multiverse?
Oh, well, you see, I got a couple stories today. One is having to do with Tesla and working with solar power. And then I also have another one that is about Apple. You know how we always like to talk about Apple and, how innovative they like to be. Well, they have another little thing that's up their sleeve, so we'll be talking about that in a little while.
Sounds great. And Katie, from what she told me, she's got something about a lip balm that she's going to be talking about, and then I guess something about Kanye West. I'm not really sure what that's all about, so when she gets here, I guess we'll find that out.
Oh man, that just reminds me of a funny post I saw.
And then for Movie Madness Monday, we've got Doctor Strange. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about Rogue One. I guess the composer who scored that is also doing the Spider-Man Homecoming movie. And then we also have CBS I guess they're going to come out with a Sheldon-centric, which is a Big Bang Theory spinoff, which I think will be pretty cool as well. So we've got all that and more. So why don't we get started? We've got so let's start off with Michael Buble. Like I said in past, I hate to start off on sad notes, but this is something that's huge right now, and I think it is for good reason. So Michael Buble is putting his career on hold. You won't be hearing much from him. And the reason being is because they found out that his son, his oldest son, just got diagnosed with cancer. They didn't say...
Nothing. Keep going.
They didn't say why, but they did say that... all they said is he had cancer. Him and his wife are both going to be taking time off from their careers. They're going to take a step back from the limelight, help him through this, and I hope he comes out safe. It's their 3-year-old son. His name's Noah, and they did confirm it over Facebook. The post they made said, "We are devastated about the recent cancer diagnosis of our oldest son, Noah, who is currently undergoing treatment in the U.S." As you guys know, over there from Canada. We have also been very vocal about the importance of family and the love we have for our children. His wife's name is really weird. Louisiana or something like that.
I misread it at first. I thought it actually said Louisiana.
I thought it did too. Anyway, his wife and him are going to put their careers on hold in order to devote all their time and attention to helping Noah get well. At this difficult time, we only ask for your prayers and your respect for our privacy. We will have a long journey in front of us, and we hope that with all the support of family and friends and fans around the world, we will win this battle, God willing. So that's really strong. I mean, I've heard it everywhere. A lot of you guys know that I internship at a radio station. They were talking about it this morning. I've heard it all over the news, and this was something that I want to touch on because I'm somebody who I go to Relay for Life, which is something to kind of help find the cure for cancer. I'm very very big in trying to eliminate this thing. And so I thought this was an important story. What do you think about this, Mark?
I think if I were in his shoes, I would do the same. I mean, when you're a famous music composer like Michael Bublé, money isn't exactly a super limited resource. It's not exactly a struggle, so you can afford to do this.
Well, I mean,
to take time away from his career to put it towards
I
his
was gonna
family.
say, do you know how many artists, I mean, especially country artists, have taken a step back so they can,
Be there
watch
for
their
their loved
kids
ones.
grow up? I mean, Garth Brooks, he's huge,
Mhm.
and that's what he did. He took a 14-year break,
Yeah, and
and he came back, and he's just as popular now as he was back then.
yeah, I have to say, and then Eminem does that a lot too. He takes breaks from his music and then comes back big.
It,
But I think one of the things about being a famous musical artist is that you can afford to do that, and it's nice, because you're able to take care of your family and all that stuff.
right.
Because the thing is, when you're in that kind of industry and you're on your grind, you're doing your work, you're hardly ever home.
Yeah.
You're touring or you're off for weeks at a time,
Yeah,
recording.
yeah. I was gonna say you could be doing about this time of year. You could be doing a Christmas special.
It's a traveling career.
Yeah, it's so much. But what a lot of people don't know is sometimes those artists do spend a lot of time at home because they can't fly back and forth. So sometimes their tour bus may be on the road, but they could be at home.
Right.
Or sometimes, depending on how big of a break there is.
So I mean, it's good that he's able to take this time aside from his career to actually be there for his family, because I mean, when you have a situation that involves cancer in any way, shape, or form, it really is a sad situation.
Right.
And to be able to be there for his son, first of all, that's gonna mean big things for his son. It's good to have your family be there for you. I remember, Aaron, I don't know if I ever told you about the time I almost died. Did I?
I think you did.
Well, I had an allergic reaction a few years ago, and I came within an inch of my life. We never even found out what I was allergic to. But, first of all, it was a change of perspective for me. But, it was a change of perspective for everyone around me. Because here it is, I try to be a really positive person and always be there for everyone. And, when I blacked out at the hospital not knowing if I was going to make it, I woke up and literally just everyone was there. And it was just a crazy experience. It was a crazy situation.
Yeah.
So when it comes to these kinds of situations, it really is important to be there for your family.
It really is. And I just looked up because I wasn't sure. Because I know he said him and his wife are both taking a break. She is a actress from Argentina. She's an actress and a model. She's appeared in a lot of stuff. I don't think anything in the U.S.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I haven't heard of. I haven't heard her name anywhere.
I was gonna say, but she's from Argentina anyway. So she's an actress and a model over there. So I mean, she's taking a break from her career. It's not like just a one-sided street. But like you said, they're able to do that. He's still selling albums. He's getting the money from that and all that, and they can pour their time into their son.
Exactly. I mean, just royalties alone should be able to get them by as it is.
I was going to say the sad part about this is there's a lot of families out there who, their kids might be diagnosed with cancer just like Michael's son was, but they can't afford to take off work. They can't afford to do anything like that. Kind of a similar thing. My father had several birth defects when he was younger. And one of them were his ankles. He's always had very weak ankles. Well, his feet were completely backwards. And he had to have several surgeries to get them turned around.
That's wow. I mean, my girlfriend's got pigeon toe, but
and there's a whole bunch of other stuff.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Well, my grandma decided, because her and my grandpa still had to work, so she decided that she was going to leave him at the Shriners Hospital, which they did wonders on him. But she always wondered, because I guess they used to be really close. She always wondered if that kind of affected their relationship in any way. But there's still things like that to this day. You may have a little girl who has cancer, and her parents may not be able to stay with her all the time, or her mom might drop off, but her dad has to be gone all the time.
Right.
So it is really nice that they are able to stop and take a break from what they're doing, so that they can be there for their son.
Right. It's like I know Michael Buble. He's really famous for a lot of his Christmas work.
It's not just his Christmas work. He's got a lot of he does a lot of covers, actually, because he did Heartache Tonight. Yeah. Heartache Tonight, and which is a cover of an Eagles song. He did he's done a whole bunch of stuff. His Christmas stuff is a little bit more popular than everything else, but the everything remains the same.
Right.
Doesn't matter
Hang
what
on.
it's famous for.
I'll be right back.
So anyway, so I just thought that this was very, very. I mean, it's sad to hear in the long run. It's very sad. But I feel like, it's something that nobody chooses to have, nor can they. It's one of those things where it just kind of happens and nobody can really control it.
I can tell you one thing though, like anybody here who's hearing about this, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of support for him. I feel like I'm not gonna try and turn this into a business thing, but with this going around, I bet you his sales on his albums are going to go up for the Christmas season.
Well, see, but then there's also this too. With this happening, you can bet that he'll be, or at least he's probably going to try to be a big person that's going to try to help with, like the American Cancer Society, help support them and try to find a cure for that.
And
as you guys could hear from the ruckus, not to interrupt, but Katie's here finally.
Hey.
Hey, Katie, how's it going?
Wonderful. How are you guys?
Doing good. Welcome to the show for the day.
Thank you. Happy Monday.
There we go.
Okay. Anyway, we're talking about Michael Bublé's son. He was just recently diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah, I read about that.
I was gonna say you probably heard it from a lot of other places.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I feel like this will be, it's not obviously not good for him. But the support he'll get from his fans is gonna be overwhelming.
Definitely. That's another beautiful thing about that industry. It's, when you go through devastating times in your life, it's not just your family who's there to support you. There's also your fans.
Yeah.
And, that is an undying support base there,
For sure.
It's like you hear about people going through difficult times and, you just look in forums and posts and all that stuff. And let me tell you, thousands of comments, man.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and the internet is something that'll make this amplified. Because, before the internet, he probably would have gotten a lot of cards. He still would have gotten a lot of support. But it has amplified it worldwide because of the internet. There's a lot of people that talk about how, the internet is awesome. There's other people who talk about how it's, ruined lives for kids. But I think it is a wonderful thing. I just feel like sometimes it is very misused.
It can be, the internet has all kinds of uses and purposes, whether it's the media for news or, support for families or people who are struggling in devastating situations, or just, hundreds of other uses. It's, the internet, it's a revolutionary tool for mankind.
Right.
And I gotta say, one of my favorite things to think about, it kind of jokes about the internet, really, is, if you were to, say, talk to somebody from 100 years ago, and, they were like,
if you talk to somebody from 100 years ago, I will applaud you.
Right, but it's like, I know, right? But it's like, and you're trying to describe to them that you have a device that you carry around in your pocket that has access to, a near unlimited amount of information that is known to all of humanity, and you use it for posting pictures of cats. They're gonna look at you like they're dumbfounded.
Our founding fathers are rolling in their graves for what we're doing with the technology that we have. I guarantee it.
They're rolling in their graves for lots of reasons.
See, but it's also funny because you could read an article online and completely forget about it, but yet 2 years later people are referring to videos that they saw when they were middle school, elementary school. I mean,
a good example
to this day, because my dog is named Charlie. Every time, because my grandma watched this one video, every time my dog bites someone, she goes, Charlie bit me.
Charlie,
and so now it's really old. But, I mean, it's one of those things like, that you look at cat videos, dog videos,
Bird videos. I've been looking up a lot of bird videos lately.
There's probably bird videos. But, I mean, you watch all these videos, and what really do you use the internet for? Now,
entertainment.
I was going to say, a lot of my internet use is for like podcasting and things like that.
And it also makes me think Facebook has done that recent update where every day you'll get a notification that's like memories of stuff that you posted.
Right.
And I try to make a point to look through that every day just to see what I've done in my life on this day for the past so many years. And there's things that I've posted on some of these days. First of all, that I don't even remember ever posting. Like, and it's funny to watch that kind of stuff again. And then there's other times where it's like I'd post or I'd see stuff that I actually like typed up from years and years ago. And first of all, I have to say, high school me, oh my god,
Hey,
different person back
I was
then.
one of those people that if I saw something I thought was really funny on Facebook, I would save it. Do you know how many pictures I have that came off of Facebook on my computer, and I have in duplicate, triplicate, maybe I don't even know how many copies I have?
You see, I thought I was one of those people. Turns out I was one of those people back in high school who found it fun to do all the misspellings for different words. And so it's like literally like every message is almost like encrypted, and I'm looking at this.
You're like,
and
what was I trying to say?
Here it is. I'm sitting here with my elbow on the desk and the bridge of my nose between my fingers, just thinking, what was I doing?
I don't think anybody knows, Mark. And then
I don't even know, man.
I was going to say, apparently you don't even know.
I always thought it would be a really cool experiment, even though it's never going to be possible, but to sit down in a circle of people, and each of these people is a person from each period of your life, for like each 5 years. For example, a 5-year-old you, next to that is a 10-year-old you, 15, 20, your age now.
That's why I love Time Hop. I can go through my Time Hop, and I'll be like I get messages that like my first girlfriend ever used to post on Facebook, and I'm like, man, this is like almost sickening, like
what?
Like almost sickening cute.
I never used Time Hop. I don't know what it's about.
Really though, it's like I swear though, like
basically
to meet with other me's from other periods of my life, we would conflict so much because I have changed so much over the years. I'm sure I'm gonna change a lot more over the years.
You've changed for the better, Mark.
I certainly hope so. But I don't know. It just goes to show that with comes with that, with time comes experience, and comes from that is wisdom. So
much.
So I can't wait to see how I grow over the years.
Right.
But anyway, so it's like I think we got off topic somehow with this, but
Katie you were gonna say something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I've looked through like my past like Facebook posts, and like Mark said, I'm like, why did I put that? But you don't learn unless you make mistakes. So I look back and I'm like, God, I added so much drama into my life.
Man.
See,
and
so
now
many
I'm just
mistakes.
like, no drama, no nothing, just
see, and it's
Save
so
the
funny
drama for
because
your mama.
so many people are
I don't know about that
like,
either.
we're like, well, we have to make mistakes to live, and everybody's like, yeah, but they're very public mistakes.
right.
But you know what
right?
though? That's the day and age we live in. People make mistakes on the internet.
We're
That's
human.
just how it works. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
But kind of moving on, I just want to say on the last, out to all the family of Michael Buble, like you have our support,
Most definitely.
and we really hope that everything goes well, and the treatments are working.
I just have to throw it out there that yes, he has my support, but I still do not support the early playing of Christmas music.
Oh, I know. At work
Hey.
they're already playing, and I'm like,
Hey, I
stay
saw a
there.
girl at Walmart today wearing a Christmas hat.
Guys, I almost decided to wear
that's
my
horrifying.
Christmas sweater over here, and then I thought
I thought you were gonna wear a Kanye West shirt.
I was, but I got a stain on it earlier.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
thanks for not wearing the Christmas sweater. Thank you.
No, guys, for real, I will wear Christmas sweaters as early as November. So be
Are they gonna
on
be
top.
ugly Christmas
Yeah,
sweaters?
I only
Okay.
wear ugly Christmas. Like
You see, I don't really support Christmas until the day after Black Friday.
See,
Yeah.
April said that. I'll start listening to Christmas music a little bit before, like not this early, but like, cause Thanksgiving really doesn't have a type of music, so I'll do like a little bit of like light Christmas music, kind of like instrumental stuff, and then after like Black Friday, then I'll start like really hitting the Christmas music hard.
I think like the only thing that kind of like makes me like cringe is when people put on like Christmas decorations the day after Halloween.
Oh.
There's
I
a
don't know.
special,
So much.
Something about
there's a
that.
special place for those kinds of people.
Yeah,
And
especially
it is not here.
Exactly.
there's this place in Durham, and they're actually called the Balls House, and he actually will spend like 3,000 I think, or 300 on dollars on decorations, and literally you can be driving down the road and you'll just see you can just see.
See now
lights
that's
against
a
the
little bit
tree.
differently, because there's a lot of people that it will take them all the way up until Black Friday to set all this
Right.
stuff up.
Oh, you know what? Another thing is, they say Oakland County, which is the county I live in, is
Right.
it's like one of the 15 wealthiest counties in the United States.
Yeah.
And so, like, and Rochester especially so. So literally, we have these huge houses and neighborhoods in my town, and you could go around town around the season. I have to say, I don't regret it or anything like that because when it gets to be the season, I get quite seasonal.
Right.
And our downtown puts lights like along the walls of their buildings, and it's
I was
quite
gonna say
beautiful to drive
downtown
through.
Rochester. I've
Yeah.
heard it looks really awesome. I've seen pictures.
It's gorgeous.
I
is.
need to go this year.
You
and
know,
see it.
there's a lot of our neighborhoods too where people go all out with their houses, and I have to say that's one of the things I do like about Rochester, even though I don't really support the season until after Thanksgiving.
I was gonna say my friend started. He started putting up like lights and stuff, but he started programming them because they moved to music.
Oh,
So that's
that
cool.
that
That is
takes
pretty
a
cool.
while. So I like he posted, he's like, oh, I already started programming. Well, I understand that because that does take a while. But as long as you're not starting them up at night and like
right?
here's this big Christmas show. No, not yet. Not after Black Friday.
Right.
Right.
But we've gotten way off topic. Anyway, so moving on to our next story. Our next story is something that I thought was actually very cool.
Ooh.
And it kind of goes to keeping a promise.
I love these stories.
Okay, so this has to do with the Cubs winning the World Series.
Go Cubbies!
Go Cubs!
I won $50 on that game.
Did you
No
really?
way.
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Dang.
so the Cubs, so there was a father and son that made a pact when they were, or a promise, whatever you want to call it, that if the Cubs ever made the World Series, they would watch the game together.
Now I assume
Whoa.
these people were from Chicago.
No,
They were not?
no.
Hmm.
They were fans only. Well, he thinks the son thinks that his dad was a fan because he was in the military
Right.
and he was stationed there,
Oh, you
and
know
that's
what?
when he became a
there you
real
go.
fan. But it
There you go.
probably I think trickled down. I mean, because my parents are. Or my mom's a huge Michigan fan, so I became a huge Michigan fan.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Hey,
Like
you know what? I can honestly vouch for that because honestly, I'm not. Honestly.
honestly,
I could honestly say that I will not be a true football fan until I live somewhere that has an actual good football team.
Hey, Michigan's
what are you talking
good.
about? We have a
Michigan
good
is
game.
The
good.
Lions
Jim
suck.
Harbaugh. Okay, well, college football, Michigan.
College football.
I'm not talking college
Harbaugh.
football. I'm
Jim
talking about
Harbaugh.
NFL.
Oh, NFL's.
They suck.
The
Yeah.
Lions
See,
suck so
I
bad.
was gonna
They
say, but
do.
college football is way better because NFL you can have the same players for years.
Mhm.
In college football, you literally have those players for 4, maybe 5 years, and then you could end up with a whole new team.
Exactly, it's always changing.
Yeah.
Anyway, off topic a little bit. So they made this promise. Well, it took the Cubs so long that his father passed away before
Mhm.
that happened.
Wait, do you guys know, like, what happened? Like, the guy putting the spell around the whole stadium?
No.
spell?
Okay, so this guy, I'm sorry to.
I remember
pass
hearing
along.
No,
something
you're
about
good.
a curse being
Okay,
lifted
so
when they won.
no, there's this guy who was a farmer and he had a goat and he wanted to go see the Cubs, but they wouldn't let the guy bring the goat into the stadium. So he walked around the whole Cubs stadium 3 times and put a curse on the Cubs stadium. And so it's taken that long, and I feel like the curse has finally been uplifted because he only did it for so many years and they haven't been to the playoffs in a long time, so maybe.
That could be a correlation.
Maybe. Well, then I guess hopefully the curse on the Lions will be lifted. That's I'm seeing that everywhere on Facebook too. It's like, all right, the Cubs won after their 108 years. The Lions have never. I think they only made it into the Super Bowl
Right.
one time.
Right. Anyway, so his father passed away. Well, that didn't stop this man from completing his test. So he is about 60. His father died when he was about 53.
Mhm.
When his father was 53 when he died. The son is about in his 60s. And when he found out the Cubs made the playoffs, he went to his father's grave, which I guess was a little bit of a great distance. He had moved away since his father passed. But he went to his father's grave, and they had like pictures in the video I watched, and he had spotlight shine on the grave and stuff like that.
Aw,
And he sat there and listened to the Cubs game with his father.
That's really touching.
That's
It
what I
is.
thought. I thought it was a really cool story.
It
and
is really cool. It's kind of sad, but
I mean, it's sad, but it's one of those things, it's like a bond between a father and a son.
Yeah.
It's very special.
Then it's special that he still did it even though his father
Yeah.
passed away. Because some people, will just be like, oh, he's gone now, so they kind of move on with their life. But I think that's really touching for that guy to go
Well,
back.
and this kind of reminded me of one of my favorite shows. It's called How I Met Your Mother. I don't know if you guys have seen it at all. And one of the main characters, when his father passed away, there was a whole episode of this one character at his father's grave doing a tailgating party. And through the whole thing, everybody keeps coming in and kind of trashing his story and, like, oh, can I have this? Can I have that? And like him and his brothers are arguing and he's trying to tell his dad the story. And when he gets to the end of the story, because the story is this whole episode, when he gets to the end of the story, he remembers his tailgate. Somebody says something and it triggers a memory. And he realized that the tailgates weren't just, him and his dad. His dad would always invite everybody, was very inviting of everybody. And loved to have a lot of people, and anybody was welcome. And so then it was really cool ending because they kind of, invited everybody and, let everybody share that moment. But it's one of those things where, you've also got the people who don't feel like, they can't feel the person at this stone.
Yeah. Right.
There's several country songs, and there's one in particular, called I think it's I Drive a Truck, but what it was is his brother died, and it's showing him it's like supposed to be him driving his brother's truck.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess and in the song it mentions, Mom says, or still mad at me because I won't go visit his grave, but that's not where I feel him anyway, or something like that.
Right. I could see that. It's it also reminds me of I don't know if I'd call it a tradition, but some people do it. Like, if your father dies, or whatever, and it hits their birthday, you'll have a drink, and they'll have, they'll pour a drink for, their passed on father as well.
Right.
They did that in the new Star Trek.
Did they?
Yeah. It was Kirk's birthday, and he was having a drink with Bones or, McCoy.
Right.
And, they had another drink there that was for his dad, because his dad died when he was a baby.
Right.
And, that's another one I always liked. Pour a drink for the deceased kind of deal.
Right.
I always like that kind of
it's one of those things where I thought this was really cool because, this gentleman could have, he could have been one of the, millions of thousands. I'll go with thousands. Thousands of people that were in the Cubs stadium, but instead he wanted to spend that special moment, with his father.
Right.
And it's funny because when when the reporter asked if he thought his father was there with him, he said no. He's like, my dad was a hellraiser. So it's one of those things that was kind of funny. He did also say a quote that I want to share with you guys. He said, I'll never forget one day, he said, at the start of a season, he forgot what year it was, but he said, this is going to be our year. So, I mean, there's been several times when his dad felt like it was going to be their year to, finally take it home. But I am glad, I'm so happy for the Cubs, and I want to say that Back to the Future predicted it 1 year off.
I was talking about that
1
too.
year off.
And
Come on,
I was
guys.
that too. I remember they were talking about, or I heard last year, when they actually predicted it,
Yeah.
that if the Cubs would have made it to the World Series, that Christopher Lloyd would have thrown the first pitch. Because sometimes they'll do that. They'll have the celebrity throw the first pitch and all that.
Right.
And I thought that would have been cool. But either way, I thought that was so funny that, it was 1 year off.
1 year off.
And that really made it for me. I thought that was pretty funny.
Anyway, so these were a couple of stories that I want to share with you guys, and I think I'm going to share the Kit Kat story just because Mark really likes the Kit Kat story.
I've been reading about this everywhere.
So what happened is there was this kid who had a Kit Kat just randomly chilling in his car. I think he went into school, went into class or whatever. And when he got back, there was a note.
A note? There
was a note. And he said he left his car for maybe 15 minutes.
Do you remember what the note said exactly?
I do. I'm going to share it in a minute. So he left for about 15 minutes. And he said he got a note, and the note said, saw a Kit Kat in your cup holder. I love Kit Kats, so I checked your door, and it was unlocked. Did not take anything other than the Kit Kat. I'm sorry and hungry. So
Yep.
apparently, whoever it was just like opened the door, just took the Kit Kat, nothing else, just the Kit Kat, and then left and ate the Kit Kat.
Yep.
So, and here's the cool part. The creators of Kit Kat, I think it's Hershey's, right? Am I right?
I think so.
Mhm.
I think I'm not sure. Let's just go with Kit Kat.
Where did it go?
Oh.
So anyway, so they gave the kid who lost the Kit Kat.
Because it's such a tragic loss.
Right. They Kit Kat gave him 6,500 Kit Kat bars.
What?
Okay.
And filled his car with 6,500 Kit Kat bars.
Oh my god.
Okay, guys, I have an idea.
Someone.
Are we gonna go jack some Kit Kat bars? Is that what I'm hearing?
Someone can
we can do
pretend
this.
to steal a Kit Kat out of my purse,
There we go.
and then I can run up to Kit Kat and be like,
But
"Who stole a Kit Kat out of my purse?" Fill it
no,
up.
but it was just something like he tweeted the picture of the note that he saw and said he was, he's like, I was just gone for 15 minutes. But this is something really cool because obviously the person didn't mean any harm, and there was none taken. He was just kind of like, he's like, why, you could, why a Kit Kat? Like, do you really love them that much? And then I think it just added on that they like sent him so many.
It reminds me of the time I took a Taco Bell tray.
You took
Oh,
it.
I have two.
Are you a
Taco Bell
klepto?
tray. I'm not a klepto, okay? Listen, we were at Taco Bell one day, right? This was years and years and years ago,
Oh, because you're so old.
right? And, we were all just chilling or whatever, and some of my friends came by because the thing is about the Taco Bell in my town is you can hardly ever go in there without running into somebody you know. Because
Right.
it's just that popular of a Taco Bell.
Okay.
And so I was there with some friends one time, and we ran into another group of my friends.
Right.
And they all went outside to talk because, we're all high schoolers. We're all really loud. So
Okay.
they all went outside to talk. But I'm sitting here. I just got my food. So I'm not going to sit here inside and eat my food while by myself while all my friends are outside. But I had too much food to carry in my two hands. So what I did was I just took my whole tray outside, sat with all my friends, and ate my food on the curb. And with the Taco Bell tray, and then when I was done eating, they realized, they're like, Mark, did you take a Taco Bell tray? I'm like, I was thinking about taking it back in, and they're like, are you actually gonna take it back in? And I'm like, well, I could use a tray. So that's the story of how I got a Taco Bell tray.
So you got a Taco Bell tray.
I got a Taco Bell tray.
Okay.
Nobody stopped me.
Oh Lord.
But
Well-
Kit Kats are really good too. I would say they're worth taking.
Okay.
I think
Well, go ahead.
I was like, I think they're now my number one favorite snack because I never really liked them, and I think now
Snickers
that
are
I'm
my
older-
favorite.
Snickers
Yeah.
are
The
The bite
devilishly
size.
good.
I
The
think-
bite size. There's something better about the bite size, and I think I figured it out. The bite size are better because you have chocolate on all four sides of every bite.
That is pretty cool.
That is smart.
Have you guys ever ate them frozen? That's
Yes.
the only way I'll
Have
eat
you ever had the
Snickers.
You know
Snickers
what I
ice
do?
cream bars?
Yes. they're
Well,
so
see,
good.
what I do is I'll take Snickers, I'll put them in the freezer.
Mm.
Yes.
I'll take some ice cream, I'll put it in the blender.
Yes.
Put the Kit Kat, or not the Kit Kats, put the Snickers in the blender.
Why not?
After
You could
they're
do Kit
frozen.
Kat too.
No, Snickers in the blender, and then I put the lid on and blend it up into a
Mm.
shake.
Oh.
It is
that
really
sounds so
good.
You know, I make the
Really
best.
good.
I make the best milkshakes. I literally just like mix milk and vanilla ice cream, and I won't do it by blender. I'll literally like spoon stir it, and they come out so good.
Where's my milkshake?
Right. My
Right.
milkshake brings all the boys to the.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
There we go.
Okay.
But
Whoa.
anyways, you know what though? I
Whoa.
think I have to say though, Snickers is up there for my favorites. But I have to say my favorite candy bar is Take 5, just because it has so much.
I don't know
It's
if
got
my
like pretzel, nuts, peanut butter,
I don't know
caramel,
if this one's my favorite, but I
chocolate.
just love the name. The whatchamacallits. Have you had any of those?
Whatchamacallits. Or the 100 grand bars.
Oh, those are pretty
Well,
good.
It's funny because they have whatchamacallit candy bars, and then they have thingamajig candy bars, and
my
I have
God.
had both
Oh my
just
gosh.
because of the name.
I remember reading a pun sentence one time where they just put a whole bunch of candy bar names into a sentence and then filled in some blanks in between it and
Oh.
made a whole story, a dirty story out of candy bar names.
Oh, my grandma got a card once, and it was this giant card. Okay, it was somebody who took a piece of like poster board,
Mm-hmm.
and it was actually one of her friends, and she found a whole bunch of candy bars, and she wrote in the missing words,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, so blah 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 blah, and then it would have Snickers, or it would have random candy bars like O. Henry and things like that. And I took a picture of it, and it was the funniest. They had like Juicy Fruit and Starburst, but it was worked into like this thing.
Was it like a perverted sentence, or was it just regular?
No, it was. It wasn't just a sentence. It was like a little like it was almost like a greeting card.
Okay.
But it was made out of the candy bars, and there were some parts of it that were funny and a little bit dirty, like you make all the guys go or. Anyway, it was a little bit dirty, but it was funny.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see,
It was kind of tasteful.
I've done that actually before, guys, and for my boyfriend, and I spent like $20 on all the candy and poster board. But let me tell you this: when you start adding all that candy, it gets really heavy. So you're like trying to carry it to the car, and you're like, don't follow or don't, and so you're taping it and everything. So I mean, it's definitely cool. I like it. It's a good idea.
It is a really good idea. I want to try it once.
I've seen people do that, but the ones I've seen were just really dirty stories.
I was gonna say I gotta find the picture of my grandma's and I'll read it to you guys at some point. Yeah. Anyway, so I thought that was kind of funny. I read it and I'm like, Mark, what story should I do? And he's like, both. I'm like, both.
Because the Cubs story was really good, and I won $50 with the Cubs, and then there was the candy prank, which I've been hearing about this all over the place, and it was really funny to hear about. I think our listeners would enjoy hearing both of those stories.
Okay, you know what else I think our listeners will want to hear?
What's that?
Welcome to
The Multiverse. Very nice. Very
I love
nice.
it.
You're welcome.
I still love
That's
it so
great.
much. It's great.
You're welcome.
Yep. So yes, as you hear, it is Mark's Multiverse time. So this week, it's a little more technological this week. Not so much space or games. or anything
Thank
like
God.
that. Yeah, a little break from space. There hasn't been much going on with that lately. Well, I mean, there's been some, but nothing as interesting as this stuff to me, at least. So. Well timed, sir. Well timed. So this first story, it's about Tesla. And so basically, electric car maker Tesla is making its move into solar power, which I think is great because I love alternative energies and the idea of it.
Yeah,
and I know we've talked about it on the show before.
In between space stories, yes, we have.
So further broadening its reach beyond electric cars, Tesla Motors says it's going to sell solar roof tiles that are customizable and meant to look like a traditional roof. The energy generating tiles would be a joint product with Solar City, although the two companies have yet to complete a proposed merger. The glass.
Hold up. Isn't this stealing an idea? I feel like there was a sales guy that came around to my house one day trying to sell me a roof that was made up of solar panels.
It's not exactly a patented idea. People have thought of it before. It's just a matter of nobody's actually put it into a huge manufacturing setup where, they turn it into something big. Nobody's done it yet because everyone's just like, oh, we still got fossil fuels. And, it's like that's going to go well in about 50 years. So anyways, the glass...
Mr. Hippie, get on with it.
Oh, whatever. Anyways, the glass tiles, which come in 4 styles, contain photovoltaic cells that Tesla says are invisible from the street. They're meant to power a home when integrated with Tesla's Powerwall, energy storage units for homes that are mounted on the wall or kept on the ground. The new version of Powerwall costs $5,500 altogether, but there was no price announced for the tiles at the unveiling on Friday night. Because the roof tiles are made of glass, Musk says that they'll last quasi-indefinitely, even in harsh conditions where snow and ice make short work of traditional asphalt shingles. Musk estimated the tiles would have a 50-year lifespan and have an efficiency of 98%, as good as traditional photovoltaic panels. The glass tiles are available in 4 looks, each replicating a standard style: textured slate, Tuscan, and smooth glass. The Tuscan in particular looks remarkably like the real thing. Tesla chairman and CEO Elon Musk, you've heard his name before on the show. He's I swear he dabbles in everything. But he reasons that many of the people who want to drive electric vehicles have an inherent interest in setting up cleaner energy systems in their homes and offices. Go figure. He has estimated that 1/4 of Tesla owners currently have solar energy panels, which that doesn't really surprise me either, because if you're going to make a career out of doing this alternative energy stuff, you're probably going to incorporate it into your life quite a bit.
Right.
But in June, Tesla proposed buying Solar City, the largest home solar panel installer in the United States, in an all-stock deal worth $2.45 billion.
No way.
Really, yes way.
Wow.
Shareholders are
So
expected to
interesting.
vote on the deal on November 17th. The merger is controversial, however. Musk is also chairman of SolarCity, which is run by his cousins. Neither company has achieved sustained profitability, and both are operating in markets where demand is uncertain. Plug-in electric vehicles make up less than 1% of U.S. sales, and less than 1% of the U.S. electricity generation comes from solar power, according to the government data. Earlier this month, Goldman Sachs downgraded Palo Alto, California-based Tesla shares from buy to neutral and lowered its price target, saying the potential merger could delay the release of Tesla's next vehicle, the Model 3, which I think is an interesting name because it kind of reminded me of the Model T. So here it is. It's, the beginning of a revolution, I think. The $35,000 car, which is critical for Tesla if it wants to become a mass-market car maker, is due out at the end of the year, or the next year. Some sharers, however, have even sued, claiming that the merger is an attempt by Musk to use one company to bail out another. Musk owns 26.5% of Tesla and 22% of SolarCity. But Musk has called the deal a no-brainer. He says SolarCity's installation network and Tesla's global stores could provide customers with a one-stop shop for sustainable energy and transportation. If the deal goes through, San Mateo, California-based SolarCity, will adopt Tesla's name and sell solar panels alongside Tesla's power-storing batteries, which it has been marketing to homes and businesses since last year. Earlier this week, during the conference call to discuss Tesla's third-quarter earnings, Musk said he's confident SolarCity would be cash neutral or even a cash contributor in the fourth quarter if the companies merge. Tesla reported that $22 million profit in the third quarter. It is the company's first quarterly profit in 3 years. SolarCity lost $250 million in the second quarter. It reports third quarter earnings in November. So Tesla is scheduled to provide additional financial details about the merger on November 1st. So like it says, it's been a little bit of a bumpy road for SolarCity and Tesla because people are really skeptical of it. Using two companies to kind of bail out each other. But he owns about almost a quarter of each company. So really, I mean, he's got a bit of say in it anyways. Not quite a majority,
Right.
but he, like I said, dabbles a little bit in everything.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the other problems with this is a lot of people are in the mindset of, this has worked for years. Why do we need to change it?
Exactly, and it's there's a word for it. My band instructor used
Stuck
to
in
say,
your own ways? Well, that's not one word.
I
That's
think that
several
was.
words, but-
I think that was. Yeah. Well, that's one way of putting it. But I don't even remember what he used to describe it. But yeah, just you're just comfortable with the way things are.
Yep.
And so you figure it's gonna work like that forever, and it's not.
No.
We live in a world where if you stay the same, nothing's going to change. You have to move forward. You have to.
Well, and
in some
there's
ways,
problems. We're finding out there's problems with the methods that we have. I mean, it's hurting not only not just our environment, well, mostly our environment, but it's we may not be there for the next couple of years.
Right. I mean, it's procrastination, really. Our world is procrastinating on moving forward.
Right.
These alternative energies, everybody's worried about whose name is on what. Or it's business. It's all business, and it's ridiculous. It makes me mad.
Right.
I mean, here it is. We can't just come together as a species and compromise and work together.
Right.
To move together as a whole.
Right.
And altogether, just these reasons alone has kept us years and years behind of where we could be today. And it's just bad. I mean, we could be so much further if we just came together and worked together. I mean, love thy neighbor. It's like, hey, can I borrow your screwdriver? Sure. Just bring it back. We need to learn to work together. We need to learn to, tackle these problems as a team.
Right.
Instead of suing each other for bailing each other out in an attempt to actually move us forward. These guys have the right idea. What's wrong with two companies working together to bring each other out of a rut? I don't see anything wrong with it. Especially if the guy who's trying to instigate it already owns like a quarter of each company.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure if he owned 51% of each company, it wouldn't be a problem at all because he has the majority say in it.
Right.
But because not, it's an issue. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it all barrels through the bumpy road okay and comes together in the end, because this is what we need in our world. So that brings me up to our next bit of talk on innovation, which again is another thing where it's like,
Well,
hey,
I don't know how
don't
innovative this can be.
yeah, I know you were saying it's like, don't we already kind of have this? I mean, when I even read this, the titles of this, I was just like, foldable devices. Isn't that kind of like, have you ever heard of a laptop?
I was gonna say, but you're also talking about a company that I feel have ripped off other ideas from other companies before.
Yes, Apple has, they take the claim of being innovation.
Well, maybe you should tell them what the story's about before we.
Yes. So basically, could the iPhone could the iPhone of the future have a bigger screen than folks in half when you're not using it? A site called Patently Apple uncovered a patent granted by the U.S. Patent of Trademark Office for the mobile device that would fold down the middle. God, they like the word patent. Patently Apple, which covers news about Apple's patents for potential new technology, reports that the company has been filing patents for versions of technology since 2013. This is difficult to read just because of the word patent over again. The most recent patent centers on the design that uses carbon nanotubes that allow for bending down of the center of the device. So this is a little different than what we originally imagined. It's not so much like a bendable device, but more or less the idea of a bendable screen.
Right.
The foldable device is somewhat reminiscent to flip phones of the past, but unlike your old Razr phone, do you guys remember Razrs?
The Razrs were sweet.
They were the coolest thing. My dad had one, and I thought it was the coolest cell phone ever.
I wanted one. Never got one, but I wanted one.
Right. But supposedly this technology would allow future devices to have a much bigger screen. CNET editor Dan Ackerman told CBS News that the concept of a larger flexible screen that can fold in half is something Apple has been working on for a long time. Of course, the patent is no guarantee that this design will ever become a reality. Apple and other tech companies file for countless patents for potential innovations that will most likely never hit your local Apple store. According to Ackerson, there's nothing more fun than digging through Apple patent applications because you see all kinds of crazy stuff. And 90% of it is never ever going to come out. That being said, Ackerson suggested that examining these kinds of patents offers clues to Apple's long-term strategy for coming up with new innovations. Apple's chief design officer, Jony Ive, recently spoke with CNET exclusively about the company's new MacBook design and hopes for the future. Ackerman said that it was particularly striking how I've asserted that the company aspires to create designs that are not just different, but also better, which poses a challenge in the marketplace saturated by high-end phones from the likes of Samsung and Google, as well as iconic iPhone. This guy, it's about time somebody at Apple started thinking about the different but also better thing, considering the fact that they took the iPhone or iPod, the
headphone jack out of the iPhone 7. Yep.
They should have thought about that one first. They should have talked to this guy.
They don't think about anything. If you think about it, they've been kind of ripping off ideas. Literally, almost every commercial that they've come out with, especially recently, I could probably cut the audio off and make a Samsung commercial for it.
You could, though.
Because if you look at the videos, it's gonna if you look at the video, it's like, okay, well we've got this feature, and I'm like, yeah, I've had that on my Samsung phone for about 2 years now.
Right.
But it's like, oh look, you can take a picture, you can do this. I'm like, I've been able to do that, even with my old little flip phone. How is this special?
Right.
And my girlfriend gets mad, but it's like, you know what? This is the truth. The reality of it is I don't see Apple coming out with anything innovative. They've come out with an iPod, then they've adapted that into a phone, then they've adapted that into a tablet, then they adapted that. Basically, all they're doing is adapting their original idea of an iPod and just improving on it just a little bit.
They're just changing its shape.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
raising the price by, a few $100s.
I have another thing I remember them advertising about, very similar to this a few years back that I'll talk about in a second. But they claim that we've definitely hit a plateau in terms of what you do with a little rectangle of glass and metal, like we were saying. All the smartphones kind of look the same. And the biggest development in the last couple of years was they made the edges a little curvier around the side, and that counts as a breakthrough these days. Yeah, great breakthrough, guys.
I mean,
I've seen a couple of these phones. I
was
have
gonna
to say
say
it's
you look
kind
at
of
the
cool, but
HTC,
it's like
and it's freaking bent. Like it's literally the phone instead of going straight, you can literally lay it on a table and there's a bend in the glass. That's what HTC's been coming out with. And
it's like it's all fine and dandy if you put it as a computer or as a TV screen. They got those new curved TVs, which are kind of cool, honestly. But like really, it's like, oh, cool, you changed the shape of the glass. Look at this. This is the future, guys. This is the future, guys. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. It's a running race of idiocracy. But I remember when they first came out. I think it was the iPod 5. Or not iPod, the iPhone 5 or whatever. They were talking about bending screens. There was a rumor going around that you could bend it. You remember that rumor?
Yes, I do remember.
I remember seeing one video where this guy tried to bend it or whatever. He broke the phone. Him and his friend both just got the phone, and he tried to bend it, and the phone broke in half. And then like he looks at his friend for a second. He drops the phone on the desk, grabs his friend's phone, and starts running.
Oh my God.
And oh shit, sorry, my bad, my phone now. So really, I thought that was funny. But that was back when Vines were really popular. I mean, they're still popular and everything like that. But you don't remember like the 6-second Vine phase everyone went through? Those were great. But it's like they were talking about using like nanotubes for their screens or something like that to make it possible for the screen to bend or whatever. This is stuff they've been talking about doing for years, and they're finally kind of getting a little bit of an idea of it. But, I mean, really, it's just another harebrained scheme.
Pretty much.
It is. I mean, it's like, these breakthroughs, quote unquote, just as, you don't need to make such a big deal out of it.
Right.
It's just... They throw out all these half-brain ideas expecting it to get them ahead in the market.
But it really is.
And really, they're just making jokes out of themselves. I think half these companies are making jokes out of themselves. What was that other one, that phone that was catching on fire?
Oh, the Samsung.
I think it was the Samsung Note 7.
That was a Note, and they tracked it back to the manufacturer. And what really happened is the cases didn't start appearing in the U.S. until people started using really, really poor, like cheap chargers with them. Mm-hmm. And that's going to charge anything because at that point you're messing with chemicals.
Right. But either way, it's just like, oh, it's ridiculous. It's like.
But I mean, but that's not really it. That was just kind of they found a problem, and they're being really cool about it. Because if you think about it, okay, they're like, okay, well, it hasn't even happened in the U.S., but we'll recall everything. Mm-hmm. We're telling you up front, and then if you look at Apple, any problem? Oh no, it's you. It's all you. It's something you did.
Right.
Apple won't take responsibility for the problems with their devices. Samsung is not only taking responsibility, but recalling it and going to distribute out new ones with newer batteries that won't.
I still think
they're going to fix the problem. They're identifying it and fixing it, and Apple doesn't do that.
I still think those explosive-proof cases were a pretty funny little thing there. You remember that? They were sending those out? That was funny. I'm sorry. That had me laughing. But, at least they're taking action on and righting their wrongs, Yeah. Like you said, Apple is, it's not working. What did you do?
Right.
And not to mention they charge you an arm and a leg for half their products. Right. I typically stay away from Apple for the most part. I mean, the only Apple product I actually own is my iPod, which, needless to say, is like something I hardly ever use.
Honestly, I got the iPhone 6. I used to have an Android before, and I would go back to Android in a heartbeat. Sorry, Apple. It's just, they charge way too much for something that,
Apple makes their living on gimmicks, people.
Right.
I was going to say, and if you think about it, okay, Samsung Pay is way better because it's way better than Apple Pay because it's approved by Chase. They've ran it through their rigorous testing, and it's accepted more places. You walk around with an iPhone and they have to accept Apple Pay.
Right.
Samsung Pay is accepted more places than Apple Pay.
Right.
Because Samsung Pay works just like your credit card. You know how many places I've walked up to use my Samsung Pay and they're like, I didn't even know our card reader could do that.
That's cool.
But but Apple Pay, you can't do that.
Right.
And it's like, you know what? I'm pretty sure Samsung came out with that first, but even if they didn't, theirs is better. No,
Right.
tell me how that works.
Exactly. It's all ripoffs and gimmicks that they try to innovate into their own inferior form and then charge twice as much for.
Right.
So good on you, Apple.
Woo.
Yeah, good job, guys. Keep up the gimmicks. So on that note, I'm gonna toss.
No Patan. There's no Patan.
Oh, there really isn't a pot. Oh, there's a ball. There's 3 balls right there.
As he pulls away the flashlight. Anyways.
Let's pass the balls.
Not at all.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
So
Big
anyway,
orange
I'm gonna pass
balls.
this over to Katie's corner.
Sorry, I don't have
Right.
any fancy
Yeah,
I've been working on it.
We tried.
Hey,
but
we're
I
getting
just-
in. We're
I'm
working
working
on
on
it.
it.
We're working on it. We'll
Yeah.
get there.
All right.
But anyway, so Katie's corner. Let's do this, Katie.
All right, so I know you guys have girlfriends who probably wear EOS lip balm. Do you guys
Oh.
know what it's about?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I
Right,
really don't
so
pay attention to
It's a
that.
sphere, like lip balm that comes in like different colors. That
Oh no,
kinda
now I
like-
know what you're talking about. I see those things at Five Below.
Yeah.
They're like a little sphere, and you screw out the
Yeah.
top, and it's
And sometimes
it's
they're
an
really
I think I've
expensive.
seen them. I didn't know what they were.
Yeah,
It's
they're
basically the next innovation beyond a stick lip balm.
Yeah,
like
and
Right.
chapstick.
It's more coverage. How about that?
There
so,
we go.
EOS Lip Balm is offering now compensation to customers who experience rashes and burns.
Oh,
Okay.
that can't be healthy.
Compensation ranges from $15 to $4,000.
Damn.
Now, if you think about that, and you have chapstick and your lips are bubbling, like
Oh,
see,
that's
like-
not good.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Plus, they're pretty expensive anyway, you know.
Right.
But celebrities endorsements from Kim Kardashian, Britney Spears, and more is now offering compensation to the dozens of customers, and consumers who complain that the product left blisters and rashes on their lips and faces after use.
God,
Now,
that's horrifying.
that really is like to know that you're buying something thinking that it's FDA approved.
I'd be thinking, who did I share a drink with who has herpes?
Come on now, really?
That's probably the first thing that would come to my mind.
Right.
I mean, like, I'd be like, whoa, this is not good.
Right.
I'd
like,
be,
who did I?
I'd be
See,
freaking.
but
who did I
my
kiss?
now that I know like that there's rashes with this stuff, why would I feel like they're gonna go out of business. Like I wouldn't even I don't know. I wouldn't even buy it for my girlfriend if I knew it could possibly cause.
Right.
That reminds me of about a year or two ago, Old Spice had something like that going on with, I think, their Swagger brand. It was causing a certain mysterious rash
Oh,
in people's
gosh.
armpits with their body wash or something.
That makes me think like
Or a brand of
what's-
deodorant.
What is in there that's causing that?
Well, I know some of that stuff has.
It's all chemicals.
I know some has, I think, like aluminum or mercury or something in it.
Oh,
That's
God.
really something that's really bad.
Oh God.
I don't know which one it is, but or which product it is, but it's like certain deodorants. But anyways, continue on.
Rachel Cronin sued EOS as a part of a class action suit in January. Severe rashes, bleeding, blistering, crackling, and loss of pigmentation on her lips and around her mouth. When the rashes and blistering got worse, she sought out medical care.
Ouch.
Yeah.
See, at least she
sounds-
sought out medical care. Most people would be like, start throwing accusations around,
Right.
It
and
just sounds painful. It sounds
Right.
really unpleasant.
Right. Affected consumers are eligible to receive $75 for verified medical expenses, a $15 cash reward, $20 worth of EOS products, or up to $4,000 depending on their injuries. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm already experiencing some like blister or rash, I would not want any more products from
not
them.
at all.
Right. It's
Not
like,
at all.
Right?
It just shows how cheap this company is because they're like, oh, our products cause you harm. Well, let's give you more for free. And
Yeah.
it's like, no, why don't you pay up?
Right.
Right.
Right. The company says we stand behind our products and the ingredients we use, and the settlement does not warrant any changes to our product formulation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
All of our products meet and exceed all safety and qualified standards set by our industry, and are validated by rigorous safety testing conducted by independent labs. Our customers are always on the top priority. Right, no. And we are remaining committed to delivering innovation beauty products that are safe, effective, and bring joy to EOS fans.
Did anybody else see a lot of contradiction in there?
Right.
It's like we stand by our products, have no intention to change our product formulations, Therefore, we care about you.
Well, we're not gonna change it or look into it. We're just gonna give you $20 more of our product.
Oh my God, Pete.
And hope that you're okay. We're just gonna hope that you're okay.
Wow, I am glad I am a dude.
Right?
Oh, wow, yeah.
But wow, that's ridiculous though. I mean, like really, just here it is. You got people blistering and bleeding at the lips, and you're not even gonna do anything to change your formulas. That's
Yeah,
That's a company that's
That's
going
a
to go out of
class act
business
right there.
very soon.
yeah.
Very soon.
Now, are they the only company that does like the Orb lip balm, or are there other
I think
companies that
right
do it?
now that there is. I know that there is
It could be patented, but I mean, even if they go out of business, they could lose their patent,
Well,
and then
they do have like on YouTube that I've looked up how to make your own lip balm. So I mean, worst comes to worst, if I really want that all around coverage, I'll just go on YouTube and look at it, because that's the great thing about YouTube. Woo!
Right, YouTube has so much do-it-yourself.
right.
Right.
I love DIY projects. I want to start doing some more of them myself. I did this one. It was like storage hacks or whatever,
Mhm.
and it was using pop tabs from your cans as a clip on your hanger. Put it
Oh,
on your
wow.
hanger,
That's
and then you
pretty
can
cool.
hang more hangers on that. So instead of having all your clothes bunched together, you could save on space and hang your hangers on more of your hangers. So.
Wow, that is pretty cool.
And there's a whole bunch of other
I
ones
was gonna say
too.
it's kind of like you guys know in the studio I've got a lot of wires going everywhere.
Right, using
And-
the cardboard too.
Yeah. So what I did is I took a packing tube that I had, I cut it down the center, I screwed it to the bottom of my of one of the desks, and then I put all the cords up there because I had a problem with like the cat going around, walking around the basement, and my dog likes to chew on things. Well, now those cords are up, nobody can see them. It looks a lot nicer. And I can run the cords where I need to.
And you'll have that chance about any dogs or cats chewing on them getting electrocuted.
Right. You
So
know,
it's a
I think
win-win.
if somebody should start a company, this would probably make you some money. Doing a do-it-yourself company. Taking all these ideas and making an actual product out of them.
Right.
Like multi-hangers or or cord storage.
1001.
Exactly. Those are products you probably wouldn't sell them for a lot, but you'd probably sell a lot of them. People would
Right.
be like, "Oh, that's a cool thing." Like those little like $2 or $3 things that you see up
Right.
at the counter when you're checking out.
Especially like the infomercials at night. All the older people watching the infomercials. Like they'll be like, "Oh, that looks cool. I have a lot of junk I need to be put away." I think that
You see,
it's
those
just-
are the companies that I feel would make good money, but at the same time, realistically, they probably don't because everybody's out spending all their money on iPhones that are supposed to
Yeah.
bend in half.
Right.
That's something I gotta see.
that somebody bends in half and snaps,
Just
and then
breaks.
they and then they go and they'll be like, "Dude, what happened?
I thought it could
I
bend.
thought it could bend."
Yeah, we said it was flexible. We didn't say it could bend. What did you do?
Right.
I bent it like a pencil, and it snapped.
It snaps.
Exactly. So.
Alright, guys.
EOS is it?
Yep.
Yeah, they should probably do a little more about fixing this project.
It's
Yeah.
probably
I honestly
yeah.
think it's called EOS, but
It
I'm
could be
not
called
sure.
you.
Ew. Ew, blisters.
Oh
Ew,
my God,
rashes.
that's great.
I know I'd be freaking out. I think I feel like because they do make a lot of money because girls love it all over the world, and I feel like if they say that we like are the beauty buyers and everybody is like their number one priority, I feel like they should at least take the time to go in and see what's causing all this harm to people.
Exactly. If
Right.
there's a problem, then fix it.
Yeah. Don't just avoid it and say, "Oh well, this is your problem now, not ours."
Right
Yeah.
here, have some more.
I mean, especially if we're paying them money, and their lip balm is not cheap. It's like $6 for one. So I mean, and I know that that's not really expensive, but
I mean,
for a
that's-
chapstick, but when
I
you
was
can,
gonna say that's pretty expensive.
when
for
you
a
It's
can-
chapstick.
almost like
You go to the
going-
dollar store and get like a pack of like 10 for
where's the chapstick?
It's kind of like reminds me of another funny picture I saw one time. It's like me as a doctor, and it's like if somebody comes in, they're like, "Yeah, you see, it hurts when I do this," and then the doctor goes, "Oh, well, then you definitely shouldn't do that."
You definitely shouldn't do that.
So I mean,
Alright,
either way, I thought that was funny. But
Speaking of doctors and everything, I know I'm a little sick. Sorry, guys.
no worries.
But I just did get back from Las Vegas, and I did see Kanye West, which is bringing us to our next story.
Ew.
Oh wait.
No.
Go ahead.
Kanye West was a lot better in person. Like, you guys will probably argue with me for a long time, but I'm telling you, He sounds a lot better.
He was done in the 90s.
You know, if I feel like for a celebrity and for a singer, if they can cut their music off in auto-tune and just sing a cappella with the whole audience and it actually sounds decent, I give them a lot of props.
Can I just read a little story I saw one time?
Sure.
Uh-oh.
All right. This is a tale of Kanye West, who is snuggled in his Kanye nest, having himself a Kanye rest, for he must be at his Kanye best before he's off on a Kanye quest, where he'll be put to the Kanye test. It hopes to retrieve the Kanye chest that is distinctly marked with the Kanye crest. He shall return to the Kanye nest and have himself a Kanye fest, where he will welcome many Kanye guests. But first he must be rid of Kanye pest before he can put on his Kanye vest and dance at the party with such Kanye zest.
Oh my gosh.
See, one of my major problems with Kanye is, one, he was pretty much done in the 90s.
Right.
But two, he named his kids some weird names.
What was it? One was like North?
Yeah, Northwest.
No, it was Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty sure that they were going to name the other one Southeast or something, some ungodly direction.
I like the jokes where they were talking about other actors with funny last names and like naming their baby. It's like Drake Bell naming his kid Taco. Or Alicia Keys naming her child Car.
Yeah. Okay, so Kanye West's son is called Saint West.
Saint West.
So you got Northwest and Saint West.
Interesting.
See,
yeah.
But
you know,
it's just like, do you know how much, like, if normal people were to name their kids that, do you know how, like, bullied they would be in school?
Yeah, they'd be like, why
because
do you name your son
it's
North?
almost like somebody was eating a brownie and they're like, what do you want to name your kid?
Brownie.
Brownie. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, because it's dumb.
Right,
Come up with and I don't have a problem with unique names. I really don't. But when it's spelled like Nancy and you call it Nancy, I have a huge problem with it.
My brother, he actually has one of his, not his dorm mates, but one of his hall mates at his school. Their last name is Knight, and their parents named him Abel, so it's Abel Knight.
Oh.
So I thought that was actually kind of funny.
Cool.
But see, one of the problems is people try to get too creative with names. And one of my favorite skits from Key and Peele is the one that went viral, and it's talking about how it's basically covering this.
Is it the You Done Messed Up AA Ron?
Yes. It was I'm talking about the videos, but it's like, they take Denise and it's Denise, and they got Aaron and it's Aaron, and it's like people are coming up with, like, I could physically see somebody going, "What do you want to name your kid?" Aaron. How do you gonna spell that? And they change like one letter or put a little like over there.
This is an era where people do a stupid substitution so their kid has a unique name.
Or like Daryl, they'll like name their kid Daryl, but really they'll be like, no, it's Darrell.
I feel bad for teachers in like 10,
but I mean,
15
it's
years.
Right,
well, and I talked to a couple of teachers, and there was one who had a student named Da Cheese. Literally, D-A cheese. Who names their kids that? And then there was another one, and this was an English teacher. And this English teacher told me that the name was spelled Dynasty. So that's how she said it. And she was like, it's Dynasty. No. If it's Dynasty, spell it like Dynasty is supposed to be spelled.
Not Dynasty.
It's like, we do have an English language here, people.
I went to school.
There are rules you need to follow. Just because you change a couple letters and spell it really weird doesn't make it what you think it means.
I just gotta say, I went to school with two people. They were foreigners. But one of their names was Taco Hero. It was spelled Takahira.
Yeah.
But it was pronounced Taco Hero.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another girl. Her first name was Shiza, and her last name was Salmon. So she's a salmon. Not even kidding. That was her name.
So bad.
And the funniest thing was she scored like a perfect score on the ACT or whatever, and she was the only one in the school to do it.
Wow.
See, but it's one of those things, like, and my name's pretty normal. I got Aaron, we got Mark, Katie, like, those are some pretty normal names.
Right.
And I'm not bashing people that are trying to go, like, my aunt named her son Liam, which is a version of William. That's unique. That's really cool. It came from somewhere. It's got a story. Then she's got Ashlyn, which I think is kind of like an Ashley. She's got Brinley. Like, she's coming up with all these unique names, but there's stories behind them. There's places where they originated from.
Right. Like, my name is actually
things like
biblical.
that. They're not just taking, William and throwing, why don't we put a Lee in front of it? Get rid of the W. You know, it's like it actually came from somewhere.
Right.
Or it's a version of, but it's like, you know, you need to spell it. I just bugs crap out of me. It really does.
My girlfriend's brother just had a kid a little less than a year ago, and they named him Zane.
Oh, that's
See,
cute.
but Zane's actually like a pretty normal name.
Right. It's
one
normal,
that you don't
but it's
hear
unique,
that often.
You know? Yeah. Or oh man, it was funny. But my niece goes to a school with a kid named, I think it was either Storm or Chase.
Those are normal names.
Well, if you put
Stormy, I had a friend.
I don't know.
I
was gonna say if his first name was Storm and his last name was Chase, it could be Storm Chase.
Right.
Storm Chase.
That would be funny.
Well, if it was Chasers, it could be Storm Chasers.
Well, and my boyfriend's little brother's name's Chase, and
Chase is a great name.
Yeah, I think it's a very strong name. Like I think it's a strong name. I mean, you know, there's banks named after him.
Well, there was a friend of mine that I used to work with. He named it. I want to say he named his kid like Alexander or something. It was like a. It would be something like you would hear like a Roman like god or like a Greek god.
Imagine if you're actually,
you know, like an Alexander or like it made him sound very like noble.
Masculine.
Imagine if your name was Alexander, but instead of people calling you Alex for short, you had people call you Xander for short.
You could do
pretty
that
cool.
too.
That would be kind of cool.
That could have been where Xander came from. But I mean, the whole point of this is, come on, people, when you're naming your kids, you know, you can be unique. That is a thing. But do some research and do it first. Just
and don't be an idiot about it. Don't name your kid Dynasty.
Or like Apple. I forgot who's.
Somebody named their kid Apple?
Yeah,
I think
one celebrity named their kid Apple.
I remember.
And then their other kid, they named him Grape. Now, that is something that I would be like, did you have an obsession with fruit when you gave birth?
I don't know. Maybe they're just liking those cherries.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But you know, I remember reading about a small fad. Really stupid too. With like Pokemon Go and all that stuff, there were some people who were naming their kids after Pokemon.
Aw, Pikachu.
And I mean,
I'm sorry, but if I walk across a kid named Pikachu, I'm gonna turn around and slap his parents. So hard. Just because, like, what do you think that, like, when I was in school, playing Pokemon wasn't the most popular thing. What do you think is gonna happen to a kid named Pikachu?
Right. You know
what I mean?
But you know, here's the thing too. As an anime fan, or you know, I know some people. I'm not gonna name names or anything like that, but who name their kids like characters from anime, so like Japanese names. So I mean, like I've heard of people who name their son Goku, which it's.
Oh my God.
Or
we do not live in Dragon Ball Z. There's no need for. And see,
or Kirito, or anything like
and
that.
the problem is
or
sometimes,
just Japanese names in general.
Sometimes I feel like that could get a little bit offensive to people who are, you know, who are actually Japanese and actually have those names, because you're naming them after characters where those names actually came from somewhere.
Yeah.
There's probably a story behind them.
Charizard.
So instead of, you know, and a lot of people aren't going to look up and say, oh, well, this name came from here, and appreciate the culture. There's, you know, what'd you name him after? Oh, this anime I love.
Bulbasaur.
But I mean, there's another guy that I talked to, that he named his daughter, I think she's Rose. No, it was
Rose is a
no.
name.
It wasn't Rose. It was oh crap, what is this chick's name? It was from a
Rose
character.
is actually a pretty name. It would be, you know, I
It was
kind of
a
like the idea of
character
naming my daughter Rosalie. That'd be a good name. That, you see, there we go. There's a nice, unique name you don't see a lot of people do. Rosalie.
That is cute.
Mm-hmm.
River. He named her River after River Song from Doctor Who.
That's not super
and
bad.
it's not too bad. But it was something that him and his wife, like, they both like, and it's like, I understand that. Like, River was pretty cool, and I can't remember what their son's name is, but it was kind of fit that kind of same thing. But it's
Frank
like
Zappa. Have you ever heard of Frank Zappa?
No.
Oh, well, he was an artist from, I think, like the 70s. And he's got some good work. I recommend you check out his album Apostrophe. The entire album is a musical story. It's great. It's hilarious too. But anyways, he named his, I think, daughter Moon Unit. Because it was back in that psychedelic age.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I thought that was.
I know
pretty
my goddaughter. Her name is Kaylee River Coffin. I don't want to know. I don't know if I have permission to say it. Her last name.
That's Coffin.
Yeah, it's Kaylee River Coffin.
River
and then
Coffin.
Her last name.
I don't know. That sounds kind of morbid.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But no, that's the baby. That's her baby's father's last name, but I don't want to say her last name. But so it's really just Kaylee River, and I think that's really pretty.
It is. I mean,
It sounds really
Yeah.
majestic, like
yeah, and there's a lot of cool ways that you can,
At least they didn't name her
mix.
Mississippi.
Mississippi River. Sorry, that took me a minute. Okay, so I'm sorry to cut you guys off, but I'm
No,
gonna
you're
get back to the story. So Kanye West was at his last concert show that was in Las Vegas, or not Las Vegas, Los Angeles. I was just in Las Vegas for a show, but he had to stop the concert 45 minutes early into the 6th and his final Los Angeles concert performance Thursday night. Kanye West called the show to an abrupt halt, according to the U.S. Weekly. Now that's the second time that he stopped the concert. The first one he really couldn't help it because Kim Kardashian got gagged and whatever in the bathroom. But he said, "I'm sorry."
Whoa.
You didn't hear about that?
No.
This is when she got
Aaron,
held up
where
in
have you
Paris.
been?
How do you just glaze over that? Like, it was kind of like, yeah, how's your day? Pretty good. Oh, Kim Kardashian got gagged in the. How do you glaze over that?
She got held at like gunpoint in Paris.
Yeah,
wasn't
and
it?
they gagged her and threw her in the tub and stole. I think it was like $6 million from her.
Okay, so she got robbed again.
No, that was the only time.
Oh,
No,
was
she
that
only
the
got
other-
robbed the one time.
Oh, she got
only
robbed the one time.
One time.
Oh, you thought she said gagged. Wait, did
Yes.
she get gagged?
She did get gagged. She got
See?
gunpoint. She got tied up and threw in the bathtub when they.
Wait,
stole.
no. But there was one point when she got robbed, like, stuff stolen from her, and there was, like, this really priceless necklace that they found, like, hidden somewhere. Like, wasn't that because they, like, broke into her house, right? Wasn't that a thing? That was the thing, right?
That might have been, but not
I think so.
recently.
And then, like, everybody swears that was some form of stunt because, like, who would steal this kind of, like, because it was just, there's nothing else stolen, just this one necklace, when they could have stole a whole bunch more, and then it was found somewhere.
Right. Well, maybe that was just somebody mad at her and was like, "We're gonna do it for."
Or
real
it was
this
her
time."
trying to get more publicity. I mean,
Right, but
the,
this.
the only reason she's famous is because she knows how to use fame to her
Media.
advantage.
Yeah.
Right.
But okay, so he said, "I'm sorry, I lost my voice. I have to cancel the show." Well, he said, "Turn on the lights, show over." He said, "I'm sorry, I'm hoarse. I can't finish the show." Okay, so he was very sympathetic, but the audience was not. I guess they booed him off stage.
See, my problem is in the middle of a show. How do you just all of a sudden become hoarse in the middle of a show?
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. My voice keeps going in and out from here.
Yeah, but you know going in you're sick.
Right.
He could have went in at the beginning and he would, like, you know, he could have canceled the concert before he even got there, give people a refund, because at this point they've already been at the concert.
Right.
It's kind of like him saying, "Oh well, I'm gonna go in for a couple minutes, knowing I'm sick, and then if I don't feel good, I'll just leave. But then that way I still have all the money that I made." That's not right. A lot of people will just they'll try to find someone else to substitute that's just as good. I mean,
Right.
okay, so at the Genesee County
I
Fair,
don't know about that.
I was gonna
Well,
say
no, he could have easily asked Kid Cudi, somebody to fill in
I was
for
gonna
him.
say, so
Or
the
Drake.
fair. There's a fair that I go to
Right.
almost
and then
every
maybe
year.
a partial refund or something.
Right.
I was gonna say every year I go to this fair, and a few years ago, before Luke Bryan was big, he was supposed to be at this county fair. Yeah. But what happened was his wife went into labor, so he flew back home, and they had an artist, Craig Morgan, who was nearby. He was doing a show, and I actually got to technically listen to both of his shows because I was just across the river from where he was playing his second show at. But he stepped in, said, "Okay, I'll do it." He did the show. Everything was fine. Nobody really wanted their money back because they still got a good show.
Right.
But it's kind of one of those things where, one, if he knew he was sick or may not be able to do the show, cancel it ahead of time.
Right.
Right.
Because obviously he had to be feeling something. Don't
That's-
just, go in the middle of the show. And even if he didn't, you just don't become hoarse in the middle of a show.
Right.
It just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I can, unless he doesn't rest his vocals like he should,
Right.
which if he can actually sing like you claim he can,
No, he's
he
amazing.
should know how to do that.
Right. Right.
You've never heard of Michael Buble.
Oh yes,
Or-
I have. Yeah. Oh.
No, but I mean, you haven't heard of him going hoarse in the middle of a concert because he takes care of his vocals.
Right.
He does the
warms
exercises he's supposed to. He warms up. So, and to me, the biggest problem I have with the Kardashians and Kanye West is I feel it's all one big scam.
I feel like
Yeah,
they're all
I
basic.
I feel like they're
all
sitting
just
there
bought
like,
into it.
yeah, they're like, how can we make the news to make more money? That's how they're famous.
Well,
And
yeah,
I think
they're
that's
they're,
wrong.
they're
Keep
basic.
themselves fresh into the media.
See, and one of the things that I love about country music is you've got so many artists, and not even just country. I mean, look at Sia. You don't know what she looks like. You don't know who she really is. She's kind of like a modern Hannah Montana.
Modern Hannah Montana,
No, but if you
love
think
it.
about it, she
Yeah.
wears a wig. She kind of wants a normal childhood, but yet she's famous.
Right.
Nobody knows what she looks like.
hmm
But it's kind of like okay, so I can name a few others. Zach Brown Band. When you go to their they don't have just meet and greets. They have what's called eat and greets. They have their personal chef come out, cook some of their favorite Southern foods, and so a whole bunch of people. If you win one of these, you sit down at a table. You get to eat all you want, and the band will go from chair to chair to chair.
Oh.
But they won't sign autographs because they don't feel like they should, like that you should feel that they're superior to you.
Right.
Because they're just some guys that are doing what they love. They're having fun. They don't think of themselves any better than you.
Right.
And those are the people that I feel like should be celebrities. Those are
Yeah.
people that should be making news.
Right.
Not people like Kim Kardashian or God knows what other.
Really, honestly, I don't know why Kim Kardashian is famous. I get it. She has a big booty.
Because they
She
know
has
how
a-
to capitalize.
It's
Right,
big.
but I mean, I get that she has a big booty and she has a lot of money, but honestly, I don't. You know
Well,
what I'm
if-
saying? Like, I don't
apparently-
get how.
According to a lot of people that I've talked to, when they started the series Keeping Up with the Kardashians, they didn't have a lot of money. They basically, because their father was the only famous one, and that's
Right.
because he was a lawyer on the O.J. Simpson trial.
Mhm.
They used that to their advantage and capitalized on that a little bit. But then Kim came out with her sex tape,
Yeah.
her quote unquote sex tape.
Is that
That
what
was-
made her famous?
Pretty much because she
So
knew how to
what?
capitalize on that because the media kept talking about her.
So, I have a big booty and I don't have a lot of money, but so if I made out a sex tape, I'd get famous like her.
See, no, that's the problem. You got to have a famous dad first, apparently. But the problem is, that-
It's the same story with Miley Cyrus too. She's not even a very good artist in my opinion.
see, but
She's
she was an
not.
awesome actress, and she used to be very good at
She
singing.
was.
She
The
was a
problem-
good country singer until she started shaking her ass and.
See, but the
What?
problem is she's like, oh well, I want to shake this Hannah Montana, goody two shoes. Well, why? You
Right.
have a huge fan base of people that
It's like
look
you
up
have
to
something good. Why do you have to wreck it like that?
you. Right. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Now I understand that it could be a lot of stress, but going into this, yeah, you could have known how big this is going to blow up.
Mhm.
But I mean, if you look at a lot of other people, okay, you've got Hillary Duff. Did
Mhm.
she go crazy?
No.
She's still
she
very
has a couple
famous.
Kids now.
She's actually coming out with a new album. I mean, it's one of those things where there's a lot of stars, of Disney Channel stars, that have come out of their, goody two-shoe roles.
Mhm.
And done
and
just
been
fine
able to-
without shaking it.
Well, and I mean,
Shaking
like,
it.
okay, so you've got Jessica Biel, who played in Seventh Heaven. Yeah, she stripped down for a couple, like, nude photo shoots and things like that, and, but she really didn't go crazy. She didn't lose herself. She just kind of showed the public, who she is. Lost that image a little bit.
Right.
I think Miranda Cosgrove did pretty good.
Miranda Cosgrove did great.
Yeah, like she did. Like she started off with what was it, Drake and Josh?
Yeah, but she wasn't Disney Channel. She was
no, that was Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. But I mean, still, there's a lot of child stars that didn't have to go, all crazy just so they could, quote unquote, lose that, goody two shoes image. I mean,
Right.
yeah, Demi Lovato kind of went off the hinges just a little bit, but I mean, you look at her now, she kind of figured out who she was and things like that. I mean, but Miley Cyrus has just taken it to
Too far.
the worst extreme. I mean, she used to be very beautiful
She
and
got- she
very
was.
talented, and I feel like she just took that and threw it out the door because she didn't want, she had built this pretty much this brand
Mhm.
because she was so good of an actress, and it's kind of like she got bored with it.
Yeah.
She didn't want it
Right.
anymore. And to me, if that's something, yes, her dad is famous. He's a famous country singer. That's great. I love him. He's got great music. But she became famous on her own.
Yeah.
She was the one that
Did
wanted
she?
to try. Yeah, he was originally cast for the show. She wanted to try out for the part of the daughter, and she had to try out just like everybody else, and she got the part, not because her dad was on there, but because she was actually that good. And that's why the show thrived, is because it was a good show. It
And
had
her
good
family.
actors and actresses in it. It was very funny, and so she built this brand herself. So that was all of her hard work, and so she worked on this thing for years, and then just kind of took and picked it up and threw it out the door. You know what I mean? And like she did a nude photo shoot too, apparently.
Yeah, with her dad.
Well,
With
no,
her
it
dad?
wasn't with her dad.
Yeah,
Her dad,
it was with her dad. She seriously had a little blanket, and her dad was right next to her.
No, her dad had to be there because she was underage.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Because I was listening to an interview. He had to be there. There was no like question. It's kind of like the
What parent condones that?
I don't know,
I mean,
a
like,
celebrity one.
I guess, it's like, oh, this will generate some good fame. At that point, you're not being a good parent. You're just trying to get more famous.
I think he was trying to just support what she wanted to do.
There's some. I went on the wrong.
I was about to
Okay.
say, it's like,
Did
it's
you click
not
on the
just-
wrong thing?
I tried to look up the picture, and it just showed her face like cropped into some naked girls. Oh my God.
Oh, the Photoshop.
And I was like,
part.
oh crap! I don't know if I should be doing that on your
And this
computer.
is the dark part of the internet.
the dark part.
Anyway, no, but it's one of those things where Miley Cyrus used to be very talented, and for even from what I saw, she was doing some acting on 2.5 Men, and she's still really good actress.
No, she is. Yeah.
She was in 2.5 Men?
Yeah. She played one of the a girlfriend to what's the
Ashton Kutcher.
No. It was the boy.
Oh,
What's his name? I forgot his name.
I don't know.
Not Alan.
No, Alan was the father.
Yeah,
Who was
Charlie and.
Not Charlie.
No, I know Charlie was the uncle.
I don't remember his name.
I'm too scared to look up anything anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Anyways, but yeah, so it's like, there's a lot of celebrities out there who are just basic. Like Kim Kardashian is one of those celebrities. She's just basic.
He played Jake. It was Jake.
empty fame.
Jake. She played Jake's girlfriend.
Yeah, Jake. Okay, Jake. Yeah.
Jake.
You know what? I think I might have seen bits and pieces of that episode. I think
But
I
I mean,
remember
she
it
was
now.
really good. She showed her raw talent, and but I mean, could you think about it? If she hadn't gone and shaved her head and dyed her hair, or whatever, God knows whatever color it is now.
Pull the
and-
Britney.
Or the
Well,
Britney.
But I mean, if you look at Britney Spears,
She came back from it pretty decently,
She
actually.
yeah, I mean, I've heard her concert isn't that great, but
Well, she
I
ain't
mean,
shaving her
haven't-
head anymore.
well, she only did that once. She did that once and went after paparazzi. Never did it again.
I
Kind of
think
dropped
she was
off.
on some drugs.
I think she was.
She
on
could have
it.
just been tired. I mean, you got to think about it this way. Some of these people are followed around by paparazzi all the time. Now, here's the funny part. So you got all these people complaining about that, yet you have country artists that are huge that can escape off to a farm somewhere.
Yeah, and you don't hear
and
anything
you
from
can't
them.
hear from them for years, and then they'll come back and still be just as famous as they were when they left.
Yeah.
But yet you don't have any like dirty pictures of them. You don't
No,
have
none
them
of
going crazy. It's one of those things like, okay, the paparazzi are as bad as you make it. If you choose to live in New York City, you're gonna have paparazzi.
Right.
If
Oh,
you
for
choose to
sure.
go to Oklahoma and live in the middle of nowhere, you're not gonna be bugged.
But honestly, I think it's more girls. I mean, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think girls are more worse than guy celebrities. Like, okay, for instance, we just named all the girls, but I didn't hear any one guy flashing his junk.
That's true, but you don't typically get a lot of guys who are flashing their junk either.
I was gonna say, but you also don't get a lot of Disney Channel stars that are usually guys.
Mhm.
Most of them you don't hear from.
Nick Jonas, he's pretty popular now.
Plus, there's the
Well,
whole.
he was a
plus
singer.
Plus, there's the whole women
He's not
objectification.
popular now. He's
Camp
been
Rock.
popular.
Here
He's
it is, though.
just.
Yeah, I think
But
so.
see, he shook his childhood, like his, goody two shoes image from his brothers when he went out on his own. He just kind of changed his music and went on to something else.
Yeah, but you also got this whole feminism and female objectification, all that stuff, and you got all these female celebrities who objectify themselves, like Kim Kardashian and Miley Cyrus. They went out and they objectified themselves.
Yeah,
They're no
it's-
feminists or anything like that. But I mean, it's like, first of all, too, it's like guys do that. If a guy were to do that too, like there'd be like mass shaming and all that stuff.
Right.
It's like guys, they can't do that kind of stuff. They can't go out on a stage wearing nothing but a. Well, actually, never
Yeah,
mind.
they
That's not
can't.
true because
Magic Mike.
LMFAO
I was
did
gonna
it.
say Magic Mike,
Magic
LMFAO.
Yeah,
Magic
I'm
Mike.
sexy and I. Okay, well there is some of that too, but not as
Jackass.
much of that.
And Jackass, they flaunt their dongers everywhere.
That's true, but that's just blurred out too half the time, isn't it?
Yeah, but still, I mean, you can kind of.
You can use your imagination.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
I'm like smiling ear to ear here. Okay.
I don't know.
back-
Maybe I just feel like there is a lot more of women doing that too because just the whole female objectification kind
Right.
of deal. You know, you don't see as many guys doing that. But I mean, there are guys who do it, and I mean.
But I can't think of any off the top of my head. It's because it's more women than it is men.
All right, Justin Bieber. He has.
Justin Bieber. Hold up. Okay. So
Here
before
we go.
he was, a
Here
kid
we
star,
go.
and then he went rogue.
I don't think.
And
he
I'm
was
pretty
ever
sure
a
at
good
one point
person.
they sent him back to Canada where he belongs.
No,
Now-
no. They wouldn't take him back.
No. Oh, they wouldn't take him back.
They
Is
went.
that- is it-
Obama assigned for him to have him deported back to Canada, and
And they-
Canada wouldn't have him.
Anyway, so but if you notice, okay, so he had a little splurge there where he kind of went crazy,
Uh-huh.
and his music is, it's decent.
It's not.
It's now it's.
He's had maybe like one. No, I'm not. No.
See, the songs are good. The problem is he's still bad. Like I don't like him.
I don't think I've ever liked any. Of
I
his
do
songs.
like. I do
See-
like some of them.
See, I have heard country artists sing his songs better than he can sing
Yeah,
his
that
songs.
is true. That is
That's
true.
true.
And if somebody else can sing your songs better than you can sing your songs, you just need to stop.
I've
Right.
still lost a lot of respect for Ludacris for playing a part on Baby.
Baby, baby, baby. Oh.
See, but you can't lose too much respect for Ludacris. I mean, come on, he's
He's the one that
Ludacris.
kinda
Come on
made
now.
the-
That's true. He
song
didn't have a
better.
lot of respect to begin with. No.
No, I mean,
I'm
he
kidding.
did-
I'm kidding.
He went with Usher and oh crap, what was that song? I think it was Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that song. That,
Yeah,
was,
he
that was a
did,
really
yeah,
good song.
Yeah.
He's been in the Fast and the Furious franchise.
No, believe me, I have bad
wait,
respect for Ludacris, but I would have more respect for him if he wouldn't have done Baby.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what,
Justin Bieber, he's a disrespectful little twerp.
You know what though? If you think about it, Ludacris he has found a way to stay famous without going crazy of any form.
That's
Right.
true.
And you know what? He probably figured, hey, if it pays, why not?
Right.
I mean, you know.
I don't know. I feel like if the celebrities who think like that, they usually end up on the internet in darker places as well.
Darker places.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Anyway. Hey guys, I don't have a clock. Do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
7:45.
It's time for.
Movie Madness Monday.
You like how I did that?
Yep. Oh my god, I didn't even realize how much we dragged everything on today.
Yeah.
But either way, we still got a lot of movie badness for you guys today.
We do. We have a lot of. If Mark can keep saying the word today. Yeah. If
How about patent?
you can say patent a little bit more too. Okay, so one thing that we're gonna try to cover is the movie Doctor Strange. No, we haven't seen it yet. So my homework for both of you guys, we're all gonna try to see
Doctor Strange.
Doctor
sometime this week.
Strange this week, so that next week on the show we can give our review.
I'm
Sound
on
like a
it.
plan?
I'm on it.
Okay.
Wait, is it just?
Are you on it like Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
Or White on Rice?
That's what she said.
Okay.
No, but listen, is it us or are we bringing like, are we just gonna trio it like the Three Musketeers?
I don't know. Here's the thing. If I went to go see it with anyone else, my girlfriend would probably kill me because she wants to see it really bad too.
True. That's what I was asking.
I was
So
gonna say
right
we
now
just
it's
have
for-
to see it. It doesn't matter if we see it all together or
It's just
separately or whatever.
individual.
We
It's
just
homework.
have to see it.
Sounds good.
So we can
But-
talk about this next week.
But we are going to talk about it a little bit this week because it has made $85 million.
In its
And that's
first
just
weekend.
domestically. That's just domestically. So just the U.S. Worldwide, it has made $325 million.
Holy whoa.
But I mean, if you watch some of the stuff that kind of, came up to this, you've got, okay, so Jimmy Kimmel did a skit with
Which
Benedict
was pretty
Cumberbatch,
great.
which
It
was really
it
cool.
great.
And that was really sweet.
He's done some
Jimmy
other stuff too.
Fallon did something too.
Jimmy
I
Fallon
wanna
did
say.
something too?
I'm pretty sure. But I mean, it's really big, and a lot of people have been looking for it. But because Doctor Strange did so good, that means Wonder Woman is set that might do pretty good. I guess they predict that since Doctor Strange did really well, Wonder Woman is going to do pretty well. And actually, right as of right now, Doctor Strange has beat all the records that beat any of the other Marvel movies.
Really?
Yep.
Even more than Deadpool?
Yep.
Oh my god. That's actually kind of surprising.
So at least that's what I read. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it said. But so they're predicting that Wonder Woman is going to be good. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Do you guys know what the thing of Wonder Woman and what the story is going to be about?
I know it's supposed to be based in like World War One, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be based in World War One, and I guess it's going to talk about how she kind of lost herself. She lost control. She removed herself from humanity for 100 years. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Wonder Woman came from, what was it, Athena? Is that the place that they came from?
Amazon or something.
Yeah,
like that.
she was an Amazonian.
Oh,
yeah.
Did
And
not know that.
It was one of those things where it's like, I'm sitting here reading this and I'm like, wait a minute. Come
Now,
again?
another
Like,
thing-
she removed herself. Now, are we saying that she came from Amazon in about World War One? Because then all the timelines that I have are incorrect.
I'm not sure. We'd have to look into it. Because another thing is, when she's Amazonian or whatever, is it a planet Amazon or is it like Amazon, like the Amazon rainforest?
See, and they never really
clarified that. Did
well,
they?
well, it wasn't the Amazon rainforest.
It was Amazon like a planet.
It wasn't really a planet either. They never really clarify where Amazon was
Or what it is.
They did clarify, however, that it was kind of like they kind of hinted it towards like it was the had something to do with the gods.
Right. Kind of like an Olympus kind of deal.
Right. But this what was it called? What's the name of the place we're talking about?
Amazon?
Amazon. But apparently that place is literally all women. No
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty boring.
All the Amazonians are all women. So
Yeah.
Well, at least everything would get done, right? No, that sounds really.
I'm just gonna turn that off now. See, at least Mark and I were on time for the show today.
Okay, we're
I'm
not gonna do no
sorry, I got
shaming.
sick.
Anyways, so
Gosh.
either way though, I'm interested in seeing this. This kind of like Wonder Woman kind of strikes me as the DC version of Captain America. She's got the whole Stars and Stripes thing going on. She's from the past. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how this goes.
So I have a question. Was
What?
Doctor Strange, is that Marvel or DC?
Doctor Strange is Marvel.
Okay, so then what does Doctor Strange have to do with Wonder Woman?
That
That's
I'm not
kind of where I'm
That
getting.
I'm not sure.
I kind of missed the connection, and I read the whole article, and there was something missing there. Because I'm like, okay, well, you got Wonder Woman that's DC. You got Doctor Strange that's Marvel. DC hasn't really had a good track record.
Unless I'm pretty misinformed, I'm almost positive that Doctor Strange is Marvel.
Me too, because they were talking about all the other Marvel movies.
Right. So, yeah.
But what did it have to do with Wonder Woman?
I'm going to say we're grossly misinformed if Doctor Strange is not Marvel. But I'm 90% sure it is. So, I don't get how it would be good news for Wonder Woman.
Me either. But according to the article that I read,
Yeah, he is Marvel because he's supposed to have a small cameo in Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
So, yeah, no, it is Marvel.
Anyway.
That's weird. That's weird that it would be even good news for Wonder Woman. I don't get that. But I don't know. But either way, I'm really, 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 really looking forward to Doctor Strange. This is actually going to be the first thing I've seen of Doctor Strange. I haven't read any of the comics.
Me either.
So maybe that explains why I was confused for a second.
I haven't either.
But
Anyway, so
I'm
that's
probably going to try and see it Wednesday.
that's it for the Doctor Strange. Mark, you got something on here about Rogue One?
Not so much Rogue One, more the music composer. Michael Giacchino, the film composer behind Rogue One, the Star Wars story, is adding Spider-Man: Homecoming to his impressive resume. Word of his involvement first got out earlier this week after the Reddit user pointed out to Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige, who allegedly let this news slip during a Doctor Strange screening and Q&A event. Giacchino then confirms the news himself over social media on Sunday, tweeting, "The rumors are true, along with the little treatment for the Spider-Man film." Giacchino's latest work for a Marvel movie can be heard with Doctor Strange, starring Benedict Cumberbatch as the Sorcerer Supreme. He also composed music for Zootopia, Inside Out, and Tomorrowland, as well as Jurassic World and Star Trek
Those were
Beyond.
all really good movies. Inside Out was phenomenal.
Zootopia was really popular.
Zootopia was really good. I finally saw the whole movie.
Tomorrowland,
It
I
was
didn't
great.
hear much about it, but
Tomorrowland was really good. The hype for it was like, because they made me think that it was going to be like, she was going to go into this universe and help save it or whatever. Well, they spend the whole movie in her universe, and then they go over to like that one and find out that it's pretty much vacant.
Yeah.
And because everybody fled, and like it was really weird. And I want there to be a 2 because I want to I want more.
right,
Because I feel like I didn't get enough in the first one.
right.
I feel like they could go for a 2. Now,
Well,
whether they're going to, that's a different story.
Right. Well, either way, though, all of these movies did amazing in the box office. They were all huge movies, and this guy, he's had his hands in quite a bit of very popular works. But Spider-Man: Homecoming, directed by John Watts, features Tom Holland as Peter Parker, Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, and Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. Michael Keaton, Zendaya, Donald Glover, and Jon Favreau also feature. In addition to Spider-Man, set for the release on July 7th, Goscinny will also make scores for for Planet of the Apes, The Incredibles 2, and The Book of Henry.
I really want to see The Incredibles 2.
Me too.
So bad.
So these are all humongous movies that have done well and probably will do well.
Did you just use the word humongous?
Humongous.
Humongous.
You don't really hear that word a lot these days.
Not
do
at
you?
all.
But
You should
anyways,
use it more.
These are all huge works. And
Humongous work.
humongous works. And Goscinny has his hands in all of it, and really, he's making a name for himself.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, look at all these.
Yeah,
And
they're all pretty.
Here he is,
And-
this
and
Doctor
the mu-
Strange and
Well,
and
and the
Spider-Man:
music-
Homecoming alone.
I mean,
are gonna be
I
huge.
saw Zootopia. I saw Inside Out. And there was another one on there that you said.
Did you say Jurassic Park
He
World?
did
It was
Jurassic
Jurassic
World.
World.
Yeah. Did you see it?
I haven't seen that, no.
What?
You haven't seen it?
Literally, don't watch it with me because I let my. Okay, so I showed it to my buddy, who is my neighbor Dustin. I showed him it in 15 minutes.
What?
What?
I showed my neighbor Jurassic World in 15 minutes.
How?
How?
Well, I'm really impatient with movies once I see it the first time. I was like, oh, this is a boring part, so I skipped to the end. Yeah.
Okay, there was way more than 15 minutes of non-boring footage in Jurassic World.
Well, okay, but I was like, oh, you see that the dinosaur, and then I tell him about it, and I was
So she
like,
basically like gave him like a play-by-play.
yeah, like I
As
didn't
she was
really.
fast
speed
forward-
commentary.
Right.
That's why. If you guys want to see a movie and I've already seen it, don't watch it with me. I'm just telling you guys.
Well, no, we'll just keep the remote away from you.
Really? Oh, that's boring.
Mhm.
Okay, anyway.
Either way, yeah. So
No, I just wouldn't watch it with her because she's spoiled for it, man. She'd be like, "Oh, he'll be fine," and I'll be like,
Mhm.
Really?
But either way, Michael Giacchino, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correct.
"Dashino."
Goscinny. Either way, he has his hands in a lot of amazing works, including the new Star Wars coming up. He's gonna be in the new, composing for the new Spider-Man. He was for Doctor Strange. So literally, keep an eye out for this guy. He's mixed up in some serious business. So either way, that's it for Goscinny. You know, just keep an ear out for him, literally, because he's got some pretty good stuff.
Okay,
And,
so I'm really curious about this next one.
as am I.
So apparently, CBS is might be coming out with a Big Bang Theory spinoff.
Yes.
I would be psyched for that.
I love Big Bang
Yes.
Theory.
Yeah.
Me
So
too.
apparently-
I haven't watched it in a while, but I love it.
So apparently, what it is it's going to be based around Jim Parsons' character Sheldon, and it's going to go through his younger years.
Bazinga.
So it's going to kind of show you how Sheldon became Sheldon, essentially.
Oh boy.
Wow.
But right now it's just in negotiations. It's in the early stages of planning. They're trying to figure everything out. The executive producers of The Big Bang Theory are going to be the producers on that show as well. Big Bang Theory, which is currently in its 10th season, is the #1 comedy in prime time. I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, for a while there, you had How I Met Your Mother, you had The Big Bang Theory. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. You had a couple there for a while. How I Met Your Mother ended.
Mindy's.
I know my dad. I got my dad hooked on Big Bang Theory, and
Big Bang
he
Theory
would,
is
he would.
so good.
I had like the first 4 or 5, no, I think 5 or 6 seasons on DVD, and I lent them to my dad. He still has them, and he would watch like an episode every night,
Right.
and you just keep going through them, and like he just loves them. Like it's like
I got my mom like hooked on Big Bang Theory,
Big Bang Theory is really
It's
good.
so she
amazing.
watches it all the time. And she
I want to start watching it again, like from the beginning up to where they're at now.
yeah, and
See, my problem is if I've already seen a whole bunch of the episodes, whether they were in random order or not, I get bored.
right.
Like, I tried to do that with Psych.
I'm
okay?
not.
So I'd watch pretty much the entire series of Psych.
Uh-huh.
But I'd watched it and kind of,
Bits
mismatched.
and pieces.
Right. So, to kind of put it back into perspective, I tried to go through on Netflix and rewatch it. And I just kept, like, I'm like, oh, I've seen that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, but I didn't see them in order.
Mhm.
So, and I'd be like, oh, did I see this one? And I'll start playing, and I've seen that one, and it's just like, but I had seen them so many times that I couldn't watch them again.
Right.
Burn
see-
Notice was also good. Have you guys ever seen the show Burn
Yeah,
Notice?
that's pretty good. I like that.
What show?
Burn Notice.
No, I've never even heard of it.
It was a really good show.
It was.
It ended. It was a show about a spy who was what's called burned. Basically, he's out of the CIA. They basically kicked him out. Well, he has no ID. He has no ID. No social security number, no job history, nothing.
He doesn't
He
exist.
Literally does not exist. So,
Well, not literally,
but right.
legally.
But they dropped him in Miami. And he basically it's about him and his group of friends that he got together, and he kind of did like a Robin Hood thing. He would like take from the rich and give to the poor.
Mhm.
It was kind of the same concept as kind of like Leverage, except Burn Notice did it in a really sweet like CIA kind of way, and then Leverage was a bunch of thieves. There was a thief, a grifter, the mastermind, the muscle, and the tech guy. Anyway, no, those were both really good shows. That ended, but yeah, I could see how The Big Bang Theory would be one of the top movies or top series.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to hear about look into this.
Well,
I still have to
I
go
think
back
it's-
and rewatch Big Bang
I think
Theory.
it's cool because a lot of people love Sheldon. He's
Oh,
one
I
of the
love him.
he's one of the best
Fan favorites.
I mean, I've got a giant Bazinga poster on my wall.
Yeah, he's literally right there. Sheldon watches us do every
He's
show.
staring at me. He's actually pointing at me too. If you look at the right angle, he's pointing right at me.
Yeah.
You know what? He is.
That's
Um,
crazy.
Anyway, no, but Sheldon is a character that I feel like yeah, we've come to love him, and he's grown with us, but we don't really have too much of a backstory. We know where he grew up, and that he grew up very religious, and we hear a story from time to time. But it'd be a really cool thing to hear how he actually came about.
Yeah.
Like how he became the way he is.
I mean, I've seen you see a couple of the background episodes for him, where his mom comes into town, or he talks
Right.
about his past and all that stuff. How he grew up in an environment that was totally not him.
Right.
And I'd be interested in hearing about that.
Yeah, me too.
Now, I'm curious, is this spinoff, do you think it's going to be more like actually like his childhood, or do you think it's going to be just like kind of like him as a young adult, like before Big Bang Theory?
It really doesn't say. I think it's going to take place before Big Bang Theory. I really do believe that. I think it's going to take place before Leonard and all that. Now, how far back they're going to go, I'm not sure. I think it'd be cool to, they might be I think it'd be cool to see like preteens or something. His teenage years.
Like, do you think they'd have to do a character that's so young that they couldn't use Jim Parsons for it? You think?
Yeah.
But either way,
I mean, it could even be like one of those where it was kind of like the whole How I Met Your Mother thing, where he's telling his story, and then they have like people to act it out.
maybe. I don't know. Only time will tell. Like, it's only in talks right now, though, isn't it?
It is. It is only in talks. So it's saying something about season 10 being the show's last season.
No, they said it was in talks to be in the last
Okay.
season. They
Hopefully
would
not.
ideally like it to go forever. They'll go I think they were saying they'll go as long as the actors are willing to go.
Come on,
I believe.
Leonard. Keep it up.
I believe is what it was saying.
Okay.
But either way, man, this really makes me want to go back and rewatch the show because I love the show so much, you know.
You know what I want to
Especially
go
you
and
get
see?
to see them all grow as people.
You want to know what I want to go and see?
What do you want to see?
Doctor Strange.
Me too. I'm probably gonna try and go see that Wednesday night. I don't care that I'm like broke right now. I'll find a way.
If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, or maybe if there's a spell, there's a way.
If there's a will, there's a way.
If there's a will, there's a spell.
Okay, guys. So we skipped over Halloween. If you guys didn't hear, I put out an awesome memo that we were skipping Halloween.
Was it awesome?
I thought it was pretty cool.
I
I did a really cool deep voice. I'll play it for you later.
Sounds great.
But what did you guys do for Halloween?
Well, I mean, what did I do for Halloween?
You didn't come to my Halloween party. That's for
No,
dang sure.
that's because I was with my family for a while, and then we ended up checking out some haunted houses, and then we ended up going back and watching Netflix and getting drunk.
I'm sorry. Oh.
You could have came here. We were drinking here.
I was already pretty out there by the time that the party was around. But I actually don't remember much of Halloween right now, so I guess that can tell you what I was doing. But what about you, Katie?
Oh my god.
There you go.
I was in the hospital for most of the night, and I was pretty drunk when I went to the hospital, and from them for like 5 other days I was there. So, I mean, it was fun because I looked really, really bloody, and so I came in the ER, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's costume blood." I don't know. It was good.
Oh, you shouldn't have told them that. You should have let them figure that out on their
Like,
own.
oh, I'm dying here. I'll show you guys the picture. Hold on, let me pull it up.
I don't know. Could you get in trouble for doing that?
I don't know.
Yes, I feel like you could.
I didn't get in trouble. Okay, this is what I literally looked like for Halloween. I know the viewers can't see it, but
I saw the picture. I'll post it on the Topic Talks Facebook page.
that's
oh,
what I
wow.
looked
Yeah,
like.
yeah, that's pretty
I
gory.
looked like I had a bullet hole in my head.
That's pretty gory.
And
Yeah, it was.
yeah, it was very gory.
I'll tell you what I did after Halloween, though. I just got back from it yesterday. I went to YomoCon this weekend down in Detroit.
So he pretty much had a Halloween, like a weekend of Halloween.
Basically, everyone was there was cosplayed, dressed up. I went as Elle from Death Note one day, and I went from Dr. Stein from Soul Eater one day. You guys don't know who those characters are.
Not
probably.
at all.
And then for Sunday, I went as a Pokemon trainer, which I got a Team Instinct hat. I already have my Team Instinct shirt, and I got a new laptop case for my Chromebook. That is, take a guess, Team Instincts.
Ooh.
So I got a bunch of Team Instinct stuff. I also got a Zoids model kit for anyone that probably doesn't know what Zoids is. It's a mech anime. But so I bought some cool stuff, dressed up real cool, got a lot of cool pictures.
So my question is, why did you dress up as a different character each day?
Because I had multiple characters that I could dress up as. Why dress up as one character all weekend when you can be any character you want any day?
Right? I'd be like every hour. I'd be
Overachiever.
like going.
Hey, you know what? If it
something
makes you
else.
feel any better, I have like 2 or 3 other cosplays I could have worn.
I was gonna say you're kind of like the kid who would go through trick or treat one time, go back home, change costumes, and then go through the same houses
Nope.
again.
I
feel
actually
like
did not do that because that would be too time consuming for 2 hours or an hour or two.
I feel like if I knew that when I was little, I guess I wasn't the brightest about candy. I feel like I would do that now. If I could go back and like.
Well, the
bring,
thing
like,
is,
30
it's such a
Or
limited
dress up
time
in 2
span.
costumes at the same time
It's like
and have one. You go up as one, and then you run down behind the bushes, put a different mask on, and like drop off the cape or whatever, and then come back up and get another one.
Right.
that could work.
That could work.
As long as you were slick enough about it. But anyways, I also had a chance to test drive my Pokemon Go Plus, which I got lucky enough to
Ooh.
find one. It's very difficult. Like you
Wow.
literally have to scout out who's gonna have them in stock. Turns out, and then you got to be there like before they open and hope. And then it's like literally it's so scarce that it's like one per customer.
That's too much work.
It was annoying, but I got one and it works.
So, I may sound a little dumb, but what does it do exactly?
Basically, for anyone who plays Pokemon Go,
What about people who don't play Pokemon Go? Do you want me to explain it?
I play Pokemon
I can kinda dumb it.
Go, so.
Do you?
I'll explain it, and then if you want, you can explain it
Oh,
afterward
okay.
from what you understand.
All right.
Basically, with the Pokemon Go Plus, you go into your Bluetooth settings on your phone, turn on your Bluetooth settings, and connect it. After that, it'll blink every time a Pokestop or a Pokemon pops up. It'll blink green for a Pokemon that you have already caught, yellow for a Pokemon you have not already caught, and it'll blink blue for a Pokestop. When it blinks, you press the button, it'll flash white up to 3 times if you're catching a Pokemon to signify a shake of a Pokeball, and then it'll do random sequence of colors to signify that you caught the Pokemon, or 3 red beeps if you did not.
See, so basically, it is a little device that you can keep on your wrist, or there's a clip for it that you can keep anywhere else. So you can play Pokemon Go without having your phone up.
Yes, without
Because
wasting
there's a
your
lot
battery.
of people who play Pokemon Go know that it's annoying because you keep having to turn on your screen
Yeah.
to play Pokemon Go. This eliminates that.
Yes, you
I
can
was-
literally keep your app running in the background and
thinking
still
about-
gather
I was-
distance and catch Pokemon.
Because see,
So,
the
what
problem
if
that the problem that we were running into is like, okay, I would go on for a walk every night, but I would have to have my phone in my hand and look at it in order to just get the mileage, because that's all I wanted. I just wanted to hatch my eggs.
Yeah.
With this,
With that, you can walk all over, do whatever you want to. It uses your GPS. You can walk all over, and then you can hatch your eggs.
Wow.
exactly, and it'll hatch when you open up the app if you reach that distance. I hatched probably 5 or 6 eggs this weekend at least.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And considering each egg takes like somewhere between either 2, 5, or 10 kilometers to hatch. So I did quite a bit of walking this weekend. Legs of steel. But no, really, it's a really cool thing. It's hard to come by, but it's worth the $35 if you can manage to find it. I know I've talked about it on the show before, but again, if you can manage to get it, it's definitely worth it. But I would not purchase it online because you're probably gonna be paying double for it, and I would say it's not worth the double. Only get it if you can find it for the regular price.
Yeah, I did look it up on Amazon, and even Amazon, it's like double the price that it usually is.
Yep, it normally runs for $34.99 plus tax. You can't find it for less than $70 online usually, and if you can, it's out of stock. So either way, if you can manage to find it, usually you're gonna have to have some kind of tip or something like that to where it's going to be. And then you gotta be there before they open and be like one of the first in line because it's first come first serve, one per customer.
Wow.
So me and my sister each managed to get one. We wanted to get one for my niece and my brother and my girlfriend, but they didn't let us because it's one per customer. So it sucks. But either way, I got one, which that's what matters.
Hmm.
And that is what matters.
No, but either way, no, it's really cool. I'm loving it. I'm really loving it.
Are you really loving it?
Are you
Totally,
really?
it's totally changed up the game of Pokemon Go for me.
Are you really loving?
And I was already pretty heavily into it.
Really,
Yes.
really?
Yes, I'm
really,
really loving
really,
Really, really, really.
really,
But-
really.
it. But on that note, I'm gonna stop talking about Pokemon Go because I've already talked about it enough. And I'm gonna toss things probably back over to Aaron. Am I right?
Sure. So for my Halloween, I was at my house. We passed out candy, and my girlfriend bought 2 giant bags of candy, and we gave out maybe like, to 10 trick-or-treaters. So then I still had an enormous full bowl of candy.
You
I
still
feel
have
like
candy?
Halloween
have
is a
candy.
dying
Can I
holiday.
have some?
Yes. But here's the problem.
Trick or
Okay,
treat.
so then I invited a whole bunch of friends over thinking that they would eat all the candy. So we drank a little bit, and then we stopped drinking so we could eat candy. We ate about half the bowl. Well, then I put the rest of the 2 bags into the bowl, and I still had a full bowl.
What?
So now my problem is, every time I walk past this bowl of candy, I grab 2 or 3, because there's Snickers in there.
Yeah.
There's, like,
oh yeah.
we've got a little bit of everything. So every time I walk by there, like today, I found one on my desk, because I grabbed some last night to bring them downstairs, and it's like, come on now. Why couldn't you have just, bought one bag, then it would have been gone by the end of the party, or we would have had half of it left, or whatnot.
Cavities.
So many cavities. I'm like, it's bad.
Mhm.
It's bad.
I feel like Halloween. I hate to say it, I really do, but I feel like Halloween is a dying holiday.
It really is. I mean, yeah, I went to Menards and they already had Christmas stuff out. Halloween wasn't even passed.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, it's ridiculous. They should not be having Christmas or decorations before Halloween.
They shouldn't.
But
It should not be a thing.
of course they have to make a business out of every holiday.
They do, and it's dumb.
It is. But either way, Halloween was pretty good this year. It doesn't feel like it used to though.
Definitely
Not at all.
not.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just because we're not kids anymore.
Yeah.
Sad
Yeah,
face.
that could be it.
Maybe it's time to grow up, guys. What do you think? I don't know. But
It could be.
either way, I can't wait for Thanksgiving so I can stuff my freaking face with gravy and
Oh.
stuffing and turkey and mashed potatoes.
You know what I can't wait for?
What?
Next week's show.
Oh,
Oh.
yes. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
I can't wait to talk about Doctor Strange after we've all seen it.
Oh God. I'm sorry. guys.
Okay, guys. So
On
before
that
Katie
note-
coughs up a lung, I think we should all get out of here because she's like coughing like crazy over here.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
sorry,
dying.
guys. I'm
Once
sorry.
again, thank you all out there that were listening, and thank you
Thank
for the future
you.
people that are going to be listening.
Woo.
You are why we do it. I'm Aaron Klinging-Smith.
And I'm Mark Wilson.
And I'm Katie Callahan.
See you later. Welcome to Topic Talks, where we talk about the topics you care about and